I like it black.
Me too.
Is that coffee black?
That's coffee black.
Before we get into the crossover,
Tomorrow, black.
Don't
Black.
forget to listen to Big Red Overreaction after the show or after the game on Saturday.
Will coffee black be on the show?
Why?
No.
But
But
that's
I
why,
have to.
Matt.
Well, Big Red Overreaction. You get all your takes out right after the game. After Nebraska plays
I'm
Michigan
sorry.
State, it will be me, Matt McSportsbook, with Mr. Connor Happer on the show. We want to thank our sponsors of Big Red Overreaction, Dingman's Collision
is
Center.
this?
Why do we want to do
Why,
that?
why are we doing this?
I forgot to read it during our show. I have to read
No,
the
you
thing.
don't. It's fine. We'll get
The
it.
liner.
We'll get it in twice for you.
Can you make sure to do that?
Sure.
Okay. I forgot to do it. I had
Shout out
do
to all
it.
them sponsors. We'll do it.
You and I are going to do it together. Are you excited?
They'll get covered. Yeah, I am. I'm excited for some hot wind on Saturday.
Hot-tober.
Did you listen to Take 5? We talked all about the weather on Take 5 yesterday.
I didn't.
Oh, you're doing a weather podcast now.
Well, I'm just,
I think that would be very successful.
I think it would too. Actually,
I think you'd be surprised at the numbers it did.
if you did a
Last year,
daily weather
Rutgers, There's an
podcast.
Iowa game in there. There's 05 Kansas State.
I think
Like a Husker weather podcast.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. What's your favorite Husker weather game of all time?
the Wisconsin game that they lost in 2023.
Big 12 title game where my feet froze.
The Wisconsin game
Yeah.
that they lost in 2023.
That was
It was
when
brutal.
Marquise Buford.
22.
22, 15-14.
Yes.
It was brutally cold.
so cold. 22.
I remember that day.
Buford got hurt.
For a
There
different reason.
are a lot of like Colorado weather moments. Like the 90 game,
Yes.
91.
Yes.
Even the following year on Halloween I think it was started to rain.
Would you rather have a rain game or a snow game?
Rain?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
think
I don't
snow.
like wind games, and we're about to have a wind game.
Yeah,
Wind game is stupid.
Nebraska hasn't had very many snow games recently.
Last one was probably Michigan State.
Where
Oh,
Frost holds the ball up.
Yeah, 9-6, 9-6, 6-9.
Oh,
to
my
some.
favorite weather game was the Akron game that never got played.
That's a great weather game.
Classic.
That is the weather game.
It might be.
There's a famous story. Yeah, we used to get more snowy football games. There's a famous story. The groundskeeper at Nebraska many, many years ago was a guy named Bill Shepard. He had a polka dotted red hat. He had always wear the same outfit, but everybody loved Shep. So they were playing Kansas State. I was not there, but this story was told me later. He had to plow the field because there was snow accumulating,
Yeah.
and one of his blades accidentally ripped the turf.
Into the turf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But
I think
yeah,
I've
we
heard
had-
that story before.
We haven't
yeah.
heard but yeah, we haven't. Okay, so
Remember COVID, the Minnesota game?
but that was the day before we got that big snowstorm.
It snowed like it wasn't supposed to snow, but it snowed big time, like overnight.
Yeah,
right.
Remember
And
the stadium? Like
Yes.
everything was cleared. Like the field was cleared, but the rest of the stadium was full of
It was
snow.
so
Yeah,
funny.
except where the
Yes.
parents.
and then like the streets outside, there was like one
Yeah.
path to like get into the state. That was so odd.
Are we counting heat as a weather game?
By the way, that
Yes.
game. Yeah, hold that thought real
Go
quick.
ahead.
That Minnesota game was the last time Nebraska played immediately after a Taylor Swift album release.
Oh, okay.
She released an album during COVID.
It was December. Yeah,
Many.
December.
Mhm.
December 11th.
Was this? I think wasn't that the Taylor's version? Her run.
No,
of the
I don't
Taylor's
mind
version?
That
counting
was
that
the
crap.
folklore Evermore
That was
phase.
Evermore
Yeah.
to be.
So
to
the
be-
10-minute song that I had to listen to.
Had to?
Against
Got
my will.
to.
Yeah, I would say got to. You should be blessed.
I only listened to one 10-minute song, and it was much better than that one. American Pie.
Nice, Don McLean.
Thank you.
All right, hot games.
The Buffalo game in 2021.
The hot games all mixed together for me because they're all hot in September.
2021 was that with the Buffalo game, then the 2023 Michigan game.
Can you? I can't recall like a specific hot game where people were like passing out and dying. In the,
Michigan
I'm sure
game-
it happened.
The Michigan game was hot. The 2023 Michigan game was super hot. Like they were. It was one of
Yeah.
those where they were literally handing out bottles of water before you.
But like I said, the
Stadium.
hot games all mixed together for me because
Yeah, I
every
probably-
opener has been hot.
You're probably right on that. I just remember like my shoes started melting into
This
the
is-
turf during the Buffalo game.
This is a good one. Iowa 2012 from Sean in Iowa City. I remember that day.
Oh.
I was working at the Chai downtown, and the game was. I got out of my car. I was listening to the game on the radio, and I walked outside. I'm like, I couldn't imagine what they're going through right now.
Was it the
2015 Iowa was one of the coldest, if not the
Yes.
coldest games I can remember.
Well, people had the ice was on the planks.
Correct.
So most people stood.
Their asses were
wow.
Yeah.
frozen. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
A little snow that day,
Wasn't there a little
mostly it was just cold.
21 again. The last time they played Michigan, or 2 times ago when they played Michigan, 21. Wasn't there a little snow during that game?
No, that was September.
Was that
It was
September?
a lovely night.
What am I thinking? There was one game they played where there was like
They played them in
false-
22. It was kind of gray and cloudy up there.
23. Yeah,
Mark Whipple got ran over. 22.
they played them in 22.
22 in Ann Arbor.
No, I'm talking about Michigan State.
Oh, you said
Well, they
Michigan.
played him in 23. But up there was a nice day
Yeah,
in East Lansing in 23.
but in 21, I thought against Michigan State there might have
It
been.
was a night game.
It was
I
a bad
don't-
day for Adrian's jaw.
I think that was a nice night for football. If I remember correctly.
As far as I remember, I thought because it was early in the
Yeah.
season, it was late September,
Well,
early October.
So okay,
It was
so
early in the season.
tomorrow or Saturday, go back to Rutgers. Remember, wind was 40 plus miles an hour last year against Rutgers. It was
Yes.
also 97.
That's right.
degrees.
Hot wind. We're back. It's the Rutgers game last year.
October.
Yeah, and they had a terrible passing game that day.
Was
Uh-huh.
Dylan?
Yeah,
and they had a much better running game.
Dylon
last
was
year.
basically canceled in that game last year because he was turning down easy throws.
I'm pretty sure he had
Second
a good
half.
start to that. I
In the
didn't.
second half, he was not very good.
No, he was terrible.
And that's where it became, I bet he's injured.
What was
Yeah.
What was the stat again, Gary? You gave me yesterday. He was 2 of 9 with like 18 yards in the second half.
It was real bad. I mean, they weren't much better on the other side.
I
But
was-
then they couldn't throw into the wind. It was just an ugly football game that Buschini bailed them out.
This is where Rule likes to get.
Buschini did have a. I forgot about.
But he
the
also had a
Buschini
bad
game.
start to the game
Yeah,
because they had a punt blocked.
Yes, that's right.
man. When
That's right.
Buschini would shank it, Buschini would shank it. I mean, he would have when he had a good kick. He had a good kick. When he had a bad like that Colorado the
Boom,
kick-
Sheeny.
When he had that kick against Colorado in 23, that was one of the worst kicks I've ever seen in my life.
He's a special teams coach who is now helping out with pro scouting.
Really?
I thought he
Yeah.
was high school guy.
He's helping out with breaking down tape for NFL teams.
He's got plenty of
Does he
Mountain Dew,
work for
baby.
Nebraska?
Yeah, yeah. He's
Oh, okay.
he's
Oh, yeah,
no,
man.
He's in the football program.
He's out there.
Yeah,
He's up in
he
that thing.
goes to practice.
Still have an iPad?
He's actually on the sidelines.
I'm an Ed Foley guy.
Yeah, if you watch,
Really?
so
I like Ed Foley.
he is
He's a
on the
good
side.
dude.
He's on the sidelines. He doesn't have a headset on or anything like that, but you'll see him periodically on the sidelines.
yes, you
I
will.
walked by Ed Foley at the Husker games, or whatever the hell we called them. Remember that?
What
fiasco?
did you say to him? Because at that point he was not the special teams coach.
I don't know. We just kind of stared at each other.
He showed up in the screenshot of when everyone caught Dana Holgerson zinning during the game. In
He
the
was,
Akron
right.
he
game.
was talking to Ed. Ed and him
Yeah,
were like laughing,
yeah.
and then
Dana Holgerson.
was born. I
Uh-huh.
texted you immediately.
Dana Holgerson.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Plaquette says
How did
Ed's new
that
job
tweet not do
secure-
numbers out of all the
I-
tweets that have done numbers
I
for
think
you this month?
It did okay. It did okay. You know, it's
Yeah.
a little bit of a niche.
It was a
but-
great line.
But apparently tweeting somebody else onside kicking things into things gets way more.
That's the
numbers.
one.
Yeah, that's just
Is that
content.
quieted down or?
I don't know. I muted it years ago.
How much? Where's it at now? Because it
I have
got
no
its,
idea.
it got its all the way to Instagram, which is insanity.
Oh, how do I find it?
You just
Just
your
go to me
profile.
at Mina Kimes.
Did she retweet it?
She's yeah.
Yeah.
She's tweeted a bunch of dots probably since then though. She's one of the dots people.
Dots.
Yeah,
Pretzels?
dots.
You
are
know
becoming
the
more
people with the
popular.
stupid dots.
I don't
They
know.
quote tweet something and they do dots.
The dots.
Oh,
No, it's the dots. The
don't go
moving
after-
dots
hey,
in the football
hey,
game.
Hey, don't go after my girl. All right.
She's fine. I'm fine with Mina. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, Clay, lay off Mina.
Okay, here we go.
Wonder why he doesn't like her.
8.2 million views.
8.2 million. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Did
more
we
than
get
Clay
any new
Travis.
followers off that?
Yeah.
Good for the brand.
Yeah.
How many likes?
137,000.
Oh my god.
Yep.
That's crazy.
A great tweet by me. An excellent tweet by me.
He didn't really do anything.
Every once in a while, I remind myself, like, why do I tweet stuff?
Why do I do this?
Because then people say stuff, and I'm like,
Mhm.
please don't talk
Oh
to
god,
me.
that happened yesterday. That was.
I'm not trying to
What'd you
start a dialogue. I'm just throwing these out.
I had a tweet about a baseball player, and somebody
Oh.
just said,
What was it?
Just reply.
I'd like to go find it.
I hid the reply because it was stupid.
You hid it? How do
Yeah,
you do
'cause
that?
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Now you've expressed this as a fear of yours in past shows.
Was it
where
this
you're
one?
Like, I
That
don't,
was such
I don't
a
love
great
talking about
play
baseball.
by Tatis. Was it about Tatis?
No. I had a Kike Hernandez tweet.
Oh,
Whoa.
I could see what
Okay,
someone
what-
probably said.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just.
Did you
really-
put the emphasis on the?
No.
Okay, well,
But it's just like, it was like, is that where your mind? We're watching, baseball's on right now. This guy's been on the Dodgers forever. He just made a great play. And that's what we're going with. Like, I'm tweeting that out. Get out of here. So dumb. So yeah, it was a dumb reply.
Did
I got
you delete
mad.
it?
No, you can hide the reply. And I just thought it was.
Open up the reply. We'd like to read it.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Come on.
How did you hide the reply?
I have premium.
Oh.
Oh.
Twitter.
Yeah, so I can DM guests, and so we can get them on the show. Which that's
Just
how
get their
we-
phone numbers.
So that's how.
Why you look at me
Whoa.
like that?
That's how we got.
You can't be saying that.
Josh, you should respond and see if he hides it.
You can't be saying that.
You guys suck.
You gotta put the thing on the thing.
It's not that funny.
I will admit that I saw that tweet yesterday and I thought, ooh,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know. I had no clue that. It was, so someone replied to it. And I was just like,
Not
that's-
surprising.
Yeah.
that's surprising.
I was
Good
with
thing you
I
hit
knew
it, though.
what you were doing.
Of
You just
course,
got a base
of
hit.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I knew what you were talking about,
he's
but I
been-
still thought, ooh.
and he's been in the league for forever. For
No.
God.
I understand what you're saying, but listen, everyone knows what you're talking about.
Oh, I know. Yes, I
but you
appreciate
you have opened the door.
I
you
totally
gave them a
agree.
window
I
of opportunity.
totally agree, and I
Yeah.
think my annoyance is more so to do with the fact that I opened the door for that to happen.
There you go.
But I don't delete tweets. I refuse to delete tweets.
Wow,
Mm.
what a
Strong stance.
hard line stance.
I just don't do it.
delete them.
No,
Delete whatever you want.
they were my words.
Nobody cares about Twitter. It's Twitter.
That's why you.
Twitter isn't real life.
That's
Who
why
cares?
you put your own social network together.
Threads.
That's right.
True Social.
What's that?
Blueski.
What's that?
You know what's cooler than $1 million?
A billion?
That's right. Justin
Like
Timberlake taught
like
me that.
politicians.
Okay.
Napster.
Drop the. All
Is
right?
it true that politicians cannot delete tweets even if they're
Yeah, aren't
Uh,
they like public record? or
yeah, if it
something?
is their official account, it is public record and they cannot delete.
okay?
Ouch. Oof. Good thing we're not elected officials.
Wouldn't you like to be
Yes.
sitting next to President Trump and when he starts to do his tweeting, like at 2 a.m, like just be there and like, okay, let's watch this unfold.
Yeah, I do wonder. Like, does he like pull out his phone and just like open
Well,
up
he
the app
doesn't
just like
sleep.
everybody else?
Yeah, but all the tweets seem to be like at midnight to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got a thought, so we immediately pick up our phone. And
That middle of the night bathroom break, you just fire a couple off.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
I remember there was somebody. It might have been like Seinfeld when he did his coffee
Yes.
show, and he did it with Obama.
Comedians and
And
cars.
he asked him
getting
about, "Do
coffee.
you have a phone?"
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, like he does, but
It's a perfect question for Seinfeld too. Like that. This is exactly the question that I want him to ask.
Well, he famously was very attached to his BlackBerry
yes,
when he
they
was
made
elected.
they made him give that up.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like cigarettes,
Ah!
he tried to sneak it. And they were like, no, you seriously can't be doing this.
What else was he trying to sneak, Josh?
Cigarettes and Blackberries.
Like when somebody calls the president from another, they call a special phone and then they hand it to the president.
Gotta
Or is
be.
it like Trump's personal cell phone
What?
No.
that it comes up? He's got it in caller ID, and he
It's
just
a great
goes,
question.
he goes, "Hey,
How many phones does he have?
You think
know,
Putin is calling collect?
which Trump number would I get if I got Trump's number?
yeah." It's kind of like like so.
How close? What ring?
The running joke is most Nebraska football coaches have 2 phones.
Second phone, yeah.
And if you're able to get
The
both
personal
phone
one,
numbers,
yeah.
you are in the circle.
Okay.
That's a
We're in
good
the
question. Like
trust
which
tree.
which foreign leaders have just the hey, this is going.
It's basically a
to-"
burner.
Yeah.
It's basically a burner. It's like, yeah, you call this all you want. I'm not going to answer it.
Yeah, I'll
but
give
call.
you this number.
Do you think the government is too cheap to get him new numbers? But if you had like Clinton's number, then now you have Trump's number.
Oh, it just passes on.
rotates.
Oh.
Yeah. You just like
Which would have been the first president to have a cell phone?
Ooh.
what president was in 1994? I don't know. Was that Clinton? Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably Clinton. I mean, I'm talking about personal cell phone. Personal cell phone.
You don't think HW had one?
Handheld cell phone. No. When was the first?
One of those big old blocks?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Well, you know,
with the antenna, you had to
Yeah.
pull out the
Okay,
antenna.
okay. I got some
did-
answers.
Right.
What did the society do before email?
Ooh.
Letters.
Yeah. God, that sounds exhausting.
Rutherford B. Hayes was the first.
Whoa!
Well, hold on. Was
Okay.
the first president to have a telephone installed in the White House.
Okay.
In 1877. Herbert Hoover was the first to have a telephone installed in the Oval Office in 1929.
Okay.
Barack Obama is the first president to use a smartphone. Now there's a lot in between.
There's
there.
a gap here.
Yeah.
To use Obama was the first to
To-
use a smartphone.
I think they're constituting it as like an iPhone. He was the first to use an iPhone.
So Bush didn't have a smartphone.
What is this? I mean, would a BlackBerry be considered a?
I would think so.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
Obama was the first guy to have a BlackBerry,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
He took
'Cause I
over
think-
he took over in what, 08?
Oh wait,
Yeah. I mean, there were like brick cell phones and flip, but
yeah.
maybe they were like, "Hey, you're the president. You can't be having one of these.
Dude, people had
You'll get
people
brain
had-
cancer."
People had Blackberries in 07. In
you
08.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, this but
There's no way
iPhone
George
was-
Bush didn't have a BlackBerry in 07. Clinton had some ability to get things from one place to the other.
Well, you know, you can take
Hey,
pictures of this thing.
hey, just think in 01, if George W. Had a cell phone instead of his person coming and speaking in his ear on 9/11,
There would
they
have been a
could have just
different
called
picture.
him.
Would
It
have
would
been
have
a
been a different picture.
much different picture inside that.
He would have been
schoolroom.
reading the text message and was
Yeah.
like, I got to cut this short.
If that was the picture instead of the one we got of him looking at his food going "Ah!" in front of all the kids in Florida, that would be
Can you
historic.
imagine he's reading the book and you can just hear the phone over the boom mic go zzz, zzz, zzz,
Yeah,
zzz.
hold on. I got it.
I gotta get this. I'm
gotta
sorry,
say,
guys.
He's the president who would say, "I got to take this. It's very important." You know,
But does he duck down or does he like get up and go in the corner with his back to
Yeah.
the kids?
he was smooth with it though. When they told him in
Oh.
his ear, he was like, "Let me finish this book up."
It's a fascinating.
I got to get some closure on this,
There
and then
have
I'll
been
get back to you.
numerous like documentaries on the kids that were in that room.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. They have done
Yeah.
that.
I mean, those kids are
Will
those.
be-
Was it kindergarten, or were they older?
Yeah.
I think it was kindergarten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got to be what? I mean, today they would be what 30.
They'd be in their mid to upper
31?
20s.
Yeah,
No, they'd be 30. Yeah,
They'd be
because
30.
it's been 20.
25.
It's been 24 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know.
They're older than you.
Well, I wasn't around.
Oh,
I know.
second grade.
Second grade. So
So
they were
7.
basically my age. I was in fourth grade.
In Sarasota, right?
Correct.
Yes.
He was reading The Pet Goat. You'd like to
Can you
check
imagine?
that out at your local library?
Can you imagine if he had a phone back then? And he was like, but I gotta finish. I gotta finish the pet goat. All right.
Yeah. They probably still would have came in and, moved him out of there pretty quick. Phone or no phone.
How did we get here?
Have you ever gotten close to getting the two numbers of coaches?
I can't tell what's personal and what's not. Like, I guess you can tell based on what the number is. So no, I think I've had the personal number a couple
should-
yeah.
Athletic directors in this town also are two phone people.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
So are drug dealers.
Well, yeah, because you got to keep the business going.
And
Yeah.
people in radio. Apparently.
So are bookies. People in radio have two phones?
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh,
I've seen it.
our boss.
Oh well, he has
Well,
9
yeah.
jobs.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's a different
he's
thing.
got two.
He works in 2 places.
Caleb Henry had 2 phones at KLIN.
Well, he's busy. He's got
Yeah.
he gives a management
I'm
guy.
pretty sure the guy that currently has his job has 2 phones as well.
There was a
Do I need to get
Nate?
2 phones?
Well,
Oh, that's a good point, Josh.
Yeah, John was telling John's got like a work computer.
whoa.
Oh, yeah. When we first started here, because John and I were a couple weeks apart, they gave us work computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't use one.
I'm not sure where
Um,
mine is.
Oh,
Interesting.
I no, because I was calling Caleb one day and I used his old number or his former work number, and somebody picked up and goes, "This is Nate," and I hung up immediately. So I think he's got 2 phones too. Yeah, people.
You didn't want to talk to Nate?
what we were going to talk about.
Ask about how the Chiefs thing's going.
Let's get Nate on the show.
I like Nate. I go on Nate's show all the time.
Whoa.
It's a great guy. But what am I going to say to Nate? Hey, how about those 3rd down calls?
No, just ask him how the Chiefs thing's going. How about them Chiefs?
Is he able to get enough sleep when he gets done on Sunday? You know,
I don't think I've talked to Nate Rohr other than like being interviewed by Nate Rohr.
like
You got to interview Nate
just
Rohr.
like say, hey Nate,
Shit.
how you doing?
We
how's
haven't-
the family? Is your kid gonna play, football again this fall?
I didn't even know he had a kid.
Wow.
Wow,
You got to get to know Nate.
you got to read the newsletter.
You got to go deeper than
Yeah.
sports.
You got to get his personal phone number.
I'm gonna finish.
Nate's got a nice
Inglourious
little family.
Bastards.
Lives right here in Omaha. Doesn't live very far from where I live.
Why does this turn into a segment of trying to get me to become?
I don't know.
friends with
You
Nate
just
Rohr?
seem like you're like, I don't care about Nate, and we're trying to convince you that he's awesome.
No, I never said I didn't care about Nate. I just said I just don't talk to Nate. Nate's a good guy.
Nate starts with the third down call at Memorial Stadium, and you roll your eyes and go, "Gee,
No,
Cut
not
it
at all.
off already.
Not at all. Not
Turn
at
this
all.
guy's mic off.
this is not how Nebraska should do this. This is unbecoming. This is so Kansas State."
Don't
what
bring
they
that
said.
stuff from Manhattan over here now.
I think that was the most annoyed I've ever been at a PA guy was at Kansas State.
Why? What did he do?
Well, because they do the third down call and then they do the Wildcat.
What's
Yes.
wrong with the Wildcat?
Power cat.
Everyone
Yeah.
does the power cat.
Yeah.
Come on, what's wrong with it?
Okay, Northwestern. boy.
Justin Jackson, the ball carrier.
First down, Northwestern.
That's okay. You know what?
We
I
only
think
hear it 4 times a game.
Penn State does it.
Kansas State does it.
K-State does it. Yeah, everybody with a kitty cat.
That's okay. I think college football is
Kitty
phasing out
cat.
the band. I hear more canned music played now more than ever.
Are you saying people are out on bands?
I don't know. They're out on bands. I think the game ops people are like, you know what? People
There is
react
not
more
a
to
lot of-
canned music.
There is not a lot of room for the bands anymore.
Referee had to tell the game ops people to stop playing music during the pre-snap at the Iowa Western game. over the
Yeah,
weekend.
well, there's very specific rules on how
Yeah.
long you
Oh,
could
oh yeah.
how
yeah.
long you could play.
But this was not a band. This was just music.
Did you guys hear about this Florida A&M PA announced guy and what he did recently?
Oh,
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
he got fired.
why'd he get fired?
You can't.
So
You can explain it.
so he works for Florida A&M,
all right.
and they were playing
Go Rattlers.
and they were playing Alabama State. Okay, and Alabama State has a plus size dance team.
Oh no.
I've
So
heard enough.
You know where this is going.
So
Where this is
then
going.
they go ahead and Alabama State's, I think they're called the Bees or something like that. They went ahead and they danced. They get off the field, and then the Florida A&M PA announcer went ahead and said, "Great job by the dance team. They are now the new face of Ozempic."
Damn.
Oh, I did see some chatter about this online. I didn't know what it was regarding.
The
You're in a
reaction.
gots to go situation. there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a stupid thing to say in public.
I think there is-
a bunch of
there's a
people in the
rivalry
stadium.
there.
You can definitely do a little barb here and there. That's
I don't.
not that. Not that.
I don't like the PA announcers who make jokes at expense of the other team, like during the game. Like it happens in high school, right? Where you have a jokey Smurf PA announcer who's like, "Oh, the turf monster got him." Like, no,
But the PA guy wouldn't say that.
what?
He shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think the PA.
I've been to.
I believe you that it happens.
I've been
but
to
it
an
shouldn't.
8-man football game.
Whoa,
in-
brag.
Yeah. It was Stanton versus Ashland Greenwood or something. I don't know. I forgot who.
Not
they
an
were
8-man
playing.
team, but yes.
But they're playing some. Stan was playing some other 8-man team, and we were on the road. Stan was on the road, and the guy was making jokes on like Stanton's football players when they would make mistakes from the PA.
You were doing radio for Stanton?
No, one of my best friends, he grew up in Stanton,
You'll
and
say
so
yes
we
to
would
anything.
take a little truck up there, like a 10-seater like little van, and we would go to their away games because his brothers were playing, and so it was a really good excuse to go out to middle of Nebraska and like drink a lot of beers and watch high school football.
Hell yeah.
Clearly.
It was
Nice
awesome.
job.
He had a ranch, so we'd go to the ranch, we'd stay up over there. It was
Lit-
awesome.
Small town ball.
Larry says you guys might be onto something about the band playing less. He goes, my seats are in the section right next to him. He goes, yes, my ears hurt. He goes, I've noticed this year the band plays less than it ever has.
It's really tough. And those guys are always asking because they're there. That's their job. They want to play.
Yeah.
And so they're always asking through the headset. They're always like, is there going to be a minute for us to play? And sometimes the person who's running the show is like, no, like we got to get the crowd hype. You
Yeah.
know,
Gotta-
it has to be the perfect moment. And
I got
sometimes the
this
perfect moment doesn't
sponsored
happen.
Yeah.
half court putt
Uh-huh.
or something.
100%. 100%. I don't like when the band plays over music. Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah.
You know, they need to have a better communication when stuff like that happens. But yeah, no doubt. Any place that I've ever worked, the band is always saying, "When can we get in there? When can we get in there? When can we get in there?"
They do not play a lot this year.
I love the band though for Nebraska basketball when they got the drum set and everything
The
like
Pep
that.
Band.
The pep band is
yeah,
awesome.
but I think in PBA,
You don't
they
think it
go
works?
immediately to canned stuff.
Well, not during the they only play pre game and intermission and then they play.
Well, they give them a couple timeouts.
Do they?
Yeah.
I haven't been
And
to
sometimes the person on there is like, "You got something that can go 30 seconds?" And they're like, "Yeah." You know, but I kind of wanted to go 150. They're like, "Yeah, sorry, you don't got 150. You got 30
I don't wanted to
seconds.
do all of American Pie.
You better play Hail Varsity right now."
They're like
Otherwise,
Ricky
it's over.
Bobby. They're like Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast.
I'm gonna go fast.
I
go
watched
fast.
that. Oh, I watched that movie yesterday. It was on one of the cable channels.
Really?
God, so good.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's a remote dropper. Anytime
Mm.
Ricky Bobby's on, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, I just drop it. I go, that's what I'm watching tonight.
Shout out to the bands out there. We love the bands.
High school bands are still prevalent.
Oh,
There just is not as many kids go out for band anymore.
I've been loving my experience with high school bands because we went to Millard. Incredible performance by the Millard South Band. They did like a B cornucopia thing. And then the Papillion LaVisca Band performed. They were incredible.
We're not gonna make any jokes about the Millard South Band.
Why?
Well, I just a Millard South. We're not gonna make any jokes.
Some of those students are from Kansas City, though, right?
Ah, Josh!
I couldn't help myself.
Stop, Josh!
Couldn't help myself.
I don't know. Maybe they were really good. Maybe they were trying to go over state lines to make sure their band was the best. Whatever you got to do. I don't know, man. Can't blame them.
This will not end well. This will not end well.
Allegedly.
Nice job, Josh. All right, I think that'll do it.
I just say what the guy in his car is saying, okay?
You know what?
Why'd you turn Italian? Why did you act like you were ordering the calamari? What was going on
I'm
there?
a quarter Sicilian. I can do that.
Are you?
Nice, a quarter. That's quite a bit.
Just like I can do the Latin accents because
Yeah.
I'm Cuban.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll see you tomorrow night for some high school football on Cox.
Detective Duck.
Henry Winkler wrote a children's book.
Whoa, I am buying
Whoa, man, we've jumped the shark.
Dude, shout out to the Fonz.
I wish they would.
that. Matt,
Yeah.
nice joke.
Thank you.
What did he say?
He
I
said
didn't
Henry Winkler jumped the shark
No, very good.
because Fonzie was the first person to jump the shark.
I've seen every episode of Happy Days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's pretty shocking.
Hey,
actually.
why?
I've learned a lot.
Hey,
in this
why do you
process.
guys think that Barry didn't get more run?
Alvarez?
It ended, and then nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
It was funny. It was good. It probably went a season too much.
So would they end up with 3?
I think they did 3. Yeah, they
they
could have
had
had
a bit. They had a leg between 1 and 2.
They could have probably wrapped that up in 10 episodes.
What's Barry?
It's HBO.
Bill Hader is a trained assassin.
Oh,
But
yeah, that sounds like it's
He doesn't want to be anymore.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Hollywood actor.
Oh,
And so
okay.
Henry
That's a good
Winkler
prompt.
is the teacher at a local,
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
yeah, they're putting
Like
on
Here Comes the Boom. Like he was
It's
a
his
teacher.
acting
yeah,
school.
Yeah, it's his acting
Gene
school.
Cousineau.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Henry Winkler went from playing the coolest guy on television to just always playing the old man teacher in movies.
But they Barry was
Played the
involved.
principal
Like
on
when
screen.
HBO had that run of like great shows they
Uh-huh.
had, and
Yeah.
Barry was one of them.
Yeah, Barry was pretty solid. I liked
Succession and Barry, what a
it.
night.
Succession
Yeah.
and Barry were back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
For a
then
little while
Barry
there.
ended, and you're right, nobody talks about it, but it had a really good cast.
But it ended like so predictably. I mean, it's just like that was
Unfortunately, yeah.
always going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
What happened with the new Dexter thing? Is that done? Dexter revived or whatever?
Still out
I
there.
don't know about that.
Did you like Dexter, Josh Hodson?
I liked the first few seasons.
Yeah.
It went too long.
Mhm.
Yeah, same thing with Walking Dead, right? I remember when Walking
yeah.
Dead was the crap. It was it.
The crap.
Well, I would use the other word.
Oh, gotcha,
but,
gotcha,
You know,
gotcha.
we can't do that because of the FCC.
Then very quickly, everyone realized, at the start of the season, they're going to find a utopia that appears to be very peaceful. And
But it's actually not.
a great escape. And then gradually throughout the season, it will become infested with zombies and evil people.
Fascinating.
Rinse and repeat.
last
Rinse
time-
and repeat.
The last time I watched a primetime show like that was Revolution. Do you remember that show?
Revolution.
That was
No.
a show where it was a dystopian universe where we lost all power in America. Like the power got shut off.
I just saw that.
And we couldn't do it anymore, or we couldn't use anything anymore. And then so it was like, how did people survive without power? And then it went to like they're trying to turn the power back on.
Giancarlo Esposito's in that.
Giancarlo, it's not Giancarlo's fault.
Yesterday, it wasn't his fault.
Well, they won.
Exactly.
Bernie, this is directed towards you, Josh.
Bernie Williams?
No.
Okay.
Safe to assume Millard South lets guys play varsity band a couple years somewhere else to develop and then brings them in for their junior year.
That was the joke.
Hey, guys.
That was the joke that could have been made.
Guys, we're on the Millard South Football Network, so we got to be careful.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, because we broadcast every single Millard South game.
That's the game people want to hear.
Yeah, everyone wants to hear them beat people by 7.
That is the crossover. Powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at
That's a bit now.
everlevelconcrete.com. It's Thursday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny for your Thursday afternoon. Very warm and breezy. A high today in Omaha of 88 degrees with winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles an hour. Tonight staying mostly clear and warm. A low of 64 with winds becoming lighter. Heating on up for your Friday. Bright skies, a high of 91. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KATV Newswatch 7.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a busy show for you all today.
Very busy.
You know what I love, Josh? Guests. I love talking to people.
Then you're going to love today's show, Connor.
I already love it. Jacob Padilla coming up at 11 o'clock. Did you hear about Nebraska volleyball? They have a big game coming up this weekend against Penn State.
Big Fox.
Looking for some revenge. Also, Creighton basketball honking with Jacob. Chris Solari, the Detroit Free Press, will talk with us about Michigan State. There is quite a lot to talk about with Sparty. They have a variety of different injury concerns that we're watching all the way up until game time.
That's a shame.
We'll get
what?
We'll get that coming up with that.
You want good on good.
Oh, okay. That is an actual shame. Gotcha. Michael Bruntz will join us in the noon hour. And Creighton baseball coach Mark Kingston will join us at 1.
It's October, Connor.
Yeah? What of it, Josh? What's your You got a problem? Take it up with the boss, and the boss is me.
Oh, no!
I have the Creighton baseball coach on whenever I please. And that day is, whenever he agrees to it. And that day is today. There's many, many things to talk about, actually, with Coach King, including his love-hate relationship with the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could talk about
football.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit of football with them, of course. Elsewhere, so that's the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Want to hear from you all today, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer. On the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, email Connor Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. So we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. Hello, everyone. Ranger Anthony, Stomp Trump Roar, writes in.
Hi, Dino Ranger Anthony.
Connor better give some time to the start of the Banana Ball Championship tournament starting tonight.
Whoa.
Is this true?
I have no idea. I'm going to look into it.
How is there a tournament of one team?
Well, they play the firefighters, they play the party animals. But like the Globetrotters, they always win.
Wait. There are more than one. Because I thought it was just
I did too, Connor. I learned a lot about the Savannah Bananas this summer when they were on TV all the time.
Why did you watch
it? There was nothing else on.
So this is the tournament with the Banana Ball tournament. Will they expand the Banana Ball tournament just like many people want to expand many tournaments?
Many tournaments are expanding.
You're not a real tournament unless you're expanding. That's what people are saying.
That's
right now. Topic threat lives on another day. It's always in the hopper. Topic threat lives on another day. Once again, you better be on your best behavior. Otherwise the threat becomes a reality. The big red button is about to get pushed, it seems like, in college sports, specifically in the Big Ten. Private equity, Josh. Why might the Big Ten need private equity? Oh, we don't have enough money. We have to pay our players. False. Liars. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Basketball Herbie has arrived to center court at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Oh boy.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this, Josh? Have you heard about Mr. Basketball Herbie?
I have seen and heard about it. Yes.
Are you sure you've seen it?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, everyone's tweeting it.
Would you like to see it again?
Oh my gosh, look at it!
Oh, it's so cool.
I actually like it.
They have a big, beautiful scoreboard. Not as cool as the one at the Chai, I'm told.
Whoa.
And the big, beautiful Herbie right there. And it's not just the state of Nebraska outline anymore. It's the entire filled in state of Nebraska. I wish the state of Nebraska was bigger.
Yeah.
And I wish Herbie was bigger.
Me too.
But we have at least some Herbie, and a smaller version of the state of Nebraska. Exciting times for Pinnacle Bank Arena. Ben McDonald of ESPN asks, do you care about hockey?
Bold move.
Taylor Swift is releasing an album tomorrow.
You don't have to tell me. I'm aware.
I'm going to anyway. Taylor Swift is releasing an album tomorrow. We'll look at Nebraska's history on days that follow Taylor Swift album releases. Coming up today on the show, Shedeur Sanders is turned into a mime.
Oh, well, at least
I'm a mime.
At least he's got a gig.
Saving Silverman, I'm a mime. That's what he did yesterday. And we'll be introducing you all, of course, to Hot Wind, coming to Memorial Stadium to perform on Saturday afternoon.
To perform?
Yes, Hot Wind. Have you ever heard of the band Hot Wind?
Oh, I thought you meant it was going to be warm and windy.
That's what I mean, Josh.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, there's some...
Hot Wind is rolling into town. Hot Wind.
Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Exactly.
For Hot Wind.
Placat writes in, Connor, the rumor's true that it's Glenn's birthday. Glenn says, yes, it is true. It is true. Well, Glenn will be calling later on when he patches us over to Coach Kingston. So you have to wish him a happy birthday.
Okay.
Josh, don't forget. Hi, is this famous Glenn? It is your birthday period. That's what you should say.
I'm sure he'll be...
The rumors are true.
As pleased as he always is about everything.
Also, I've heard a lot of conversation about Applebee's around here.
Applebee's?
Did you hear that
Jack Mitchell starting some chatter?
Did you hear that Steve Sipple is now brought to you by Applebee's?
Whoa, what a dream sponsorship for him.
A match made in heaven, one might say. I really like their Oriental chicken salad.
That's what he says.
Yep, he says that. So you can get special Applebee's deals if you just drop in Sipple's name around various Applebee's locations in the state, but not in Omaha.
Use code SIP93 for
promo code Huskers. But Sean said promo code Huskers to your waiter. I don't know how you do a promo code to your waiter. You just say Huskers or something like that, and you get free boneless wings when you spend $10.
There's that old Seinfeld bit of George Costanza. I'm sorry, what? Or no, it was Kramer. What? I'm mentioning his name.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. So apparently if you go to Applebee's in Lincoln, North Platte, Scottsbluff, Kearney, Sydney, Grand Island, York, and Columbus, and you say Huskers to your waiter, you get the Sipple discount, which is just 6 free boneless wings.
Not just 6 free boneless wings.
When you spend $10.
Well, yeah.
When you spend $10.
No freeloaders.
All right. We got an exciting show for you all today. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Jacob Padilla once again join us at the top of the hour. Plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you here on a Thursday in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Baseball playoffs yesterday. We're getting 3 game threes. The best 2 words in sports, Josh.
That's right.
Game 3.
You're hearing it more and more.
Game 3.
Saw it a lot in the WNBA. Now MLB is stealing it.
Wait a minute. John Bishop, how many game 3? How many game 3 are we getting today? 3. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. 3 game 3s. Exciting. The Dodgers were the one to avoid game 3 against the Cincinnati Reds.
Interesting. Whoever could have seen that coming.
I still say go Reds, Josh. I'll take it to my grave.
To your grave.
Yes, I'll say go Reds,
Go Reds.
forever and ever and ever. So exciting. And I don't know where this puts, speaking of John Bishop, I don't know where this puts him in terms of his hellscape scenario. But I do think he's probably okay, right? Because the Thursday night football game doesn't start until 7 and Padres Cubs at 4. So Padres play an elimination game, or Cubs play an elimination game today, immediately followed by a football game against the team that he hates the most, in the San Francisco 49ers, or he calls them the Frisco Niners. So I think he's okay as long as he can sustain like 7 consecutive hours of hatred.
I think if anyone can, it's John Bishop.
That's true. Poll question.
Yeah.
If anyone can sustain 7 straight hours of hatred, is it John Bishop? Yeah, put that out there at Happer Show. Quickly, before we get to Padilla here, I want to roll through a thing or two. Speaking of baseball, ESPN got some problems with their playoff broadcasting, things like that. You know, there were some audio issues yesterday. We talked a little bit about that. Now the Cubs-Padres game yesterday, of course, what's coming up, I think early October, I think, of course, the NHL season is about to start. And
well,
so,
obviously, that's where all of our hearts and minds are.
You got to promo it on ESPN. That's what Kevin Brown, the play-by-play broadcaster, tried to do yesterday. And his partner in the booth, old friend Ben McDonald, well, he was not exactly playing along. Here it is.
Blackhawks return to the ice next Tuesday, NHL opening night against the defending champion Florida Panthers at 5 Eastern, 4 Central on ESPN. Triple header that night. Penguins, Rangers, Avalanche, Kings. Ben, I know you got an opinion on this. Panthers three-peat this year. What do you think?
If you say so. I mean, good luck to them. Are you asking if I'm going to be watching?
No, I know you'll be watching, of course, because you work for ESPN. You'll be watching Friday night.
There is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Where will you be?
I will be somewhere, but there's zero chance I'll be watching.
All right, thanks, Ben. We'll be watching. Thanks for the rating.
Gut reaction, Josh. What do you think?
Ben was given many chances
He
to
really was.
play the corporate shill, and
he really had several. Now, at the same time, like, he kept pushing. You know, the promo's over. You've leaked into the network promo is over. You've now leaked into idle chit chat territory. All right. So nothing is required anymore. The initial question was, will you be watching? Or no, the initial question was, will the Panthers win a 3rd straight Stanley Cup? And he said, if you say so. It should have been picked up by that point by the broadcaster, Kevin Brown.
Gotta
he should have
drop
said,
this.
all right,
Yeah.
we're moving on. We're going to the next thing. Back here at Wrigley Field.
oh, he doesn't know hockey. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's move on to a different thing. But he's also probably thinking in the back of his mind, I trust Ben and Jess Mendoza. Let's see where this goes, because he definitely won't say, no, I will never watch this garbage. But he kind of did. He kind of did.
I won't be watching. Oh, what do you be doing instead? Maybe some
I don't know.
some charity work you'd like to tell us about? Well, Kevin, I'd rather be doing quite literally anything.
Yeah. I think you got to just obviously Ben's got to go along with it, Sorry.
Yeah.
No, of course he won't be watching. Nobody will be watching. It's October and it's hockey.
And the Panthers don't have their best player for the regular season.
So, of course. But we don't need to say that on network television.
And the Blackhawks are terrible, even though they rate well on TV.
Yeah, we don't probably need to do that. So yeah, it's on him. But I think probably when Kevin Brown started going down this road, he was thinking, we're not going to end up here, are we? And yet they did anyway. So whose fault is it? Everybody likes to point fingers. I don't know. It's probably Ben McDonald's. Probably. You got to just go along with it. All right. That's what's going on in baseball.
Hockey promos. That's what's going on in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we got 3 game 3s today. I'm pretty excited.
Two best words in sports.
The 2 best words in sports. I'm pretty excited for it. Did you see what Shedeur Sanders is up to yesterday?
I have seen that he forgot how to talk or mimicked some words. Or
I got to be honest with you.
happened?
I don't get this. I don't know what. So Schefter brought some attention to this yesterday. Classic clickbait Schefter. Once again, I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Clickbait Schefter was like, here's Shedeur Sanders after, his reaction to Dylan Gabriel being named the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And it's 2 minutes of Shedeur Sanders pantomiming. He's saying words and using his body to talk, but he's not actually saying the words. He's moving his mouth, but not actually saying the words. And I'm like, what? I don't get it. What's the bit? I love bits. I don't get the bit in this case. And then people corrected Schefter and they were like, oh, it's in response to this Rex Ryan thing that he said. So,
whoa, okay.
Here's Rex Ryan on Get Up, a television show.
People forget
over the last couple days.
Standing coach. All right. But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
We'll see if they make a change there. And
I love the transition. I love the transition so
we'll
much.
See if he makes a change there.
So I don't really get it other than, shut your mouth, I guess. That was like,
what is Rex Ryan mad about?
He is wondering why Shedeur isn't the starter. And he's speculating that he's not up front in meetings and that he's talking too much.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Feels close to saying something else.
Okay. And then Shedeur's response to this is to pantomime. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in sports. I don't get it. But all I know is Shedeur looked like a total idiot yesterday when he was pantomiming for 90 seconds in front of everybody. He shouldn't have done that, probably. He did not have to do that.
Probably not. No.
Hey, Shedeur, would you like to comment on Dylan Gabriel? So this is the theme of the segment here, Josh. Sometimes you just got to go along to get along. Ben McDonald on ESPN. Yeah, I'm looking forward to opening night hockey on ESPN. What a great product you guys put on. I know you don't believe anything that you're saying. Everyone can tell this, but guess what? Nobody's mad about it. Shedeur Sanders, what do you think about Dylan Gabriel being the starting quarterback? Yeah, I think he's a really good player, and I'm excited for him, and I can't wait to continue to help the Browns win any way I possibly can, whether that be as the starter or as not the starter. Thanks, Shedeur. I don't believe anything that you're saying right now, but that's okay. Nobody's going to be mad at that. Why don't people get this? Why don't people understand this?
Because I got to keep it real, Connor.
No, you don't.
I think I do.
The better idea is to keep it fake. Everyone can tell if you're lying and if you're not. And sometimes you're put in these positions where you have to lie publicly in front of everybody and just to go along to get along. Because when you tell the truth about what you're actually feeling, then feelings start getting hurt. And then all these questions get brought up and stuff like that. Just lie. It's really okay.
Just lie.
Just lie.
It's okay. Connor Happer.
You know, I'm sure Heinrich Harburg did it last year. Heinrich, what do you think about Dylan Raiola? You notice how he didn't say, I think he's some punk kid who's been given everything, from birth, and he was bestowed the honor of being the starting quarterback without even really giving an effort. He did not say that.
Glad you asked me, Mitch.
He said, I'm happy for young Dylon, and I'm happy to support him in any way I possibly can.
The term silver spoon comes to mind, Mitch. Thank you.
You notice how that didn't happen? Shout out to Heine. He is one of many noble liars throughout our history.
Noble liar.
We love a noble liar. But people can't handle the truth, as Blackhead said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a break. Jacob Padilla, he won't lie to you. But he also won't ruffle feathers, He toes the line.
Roll Jays, go baseball.
We'll ask him about
hockey
and baseball combined. Yeah. After this on 1620 The Zone.
only cure for our basketball Jones. Hail Varsities, Jacob Padilla, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, baby.
Welcome back to ESPN's production of Game 2 between the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres. NHL opening night coming up. Right around the corner, we got the Florida Panthers going for 3 straight against the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's bring in my color commentator, Jacob Padilla of Herd Sports Now. Jacob, what do you think about the Panthers this year?
I don't know. There's basketball on my TV. It's basketball season.
No, Jacob. No. You're supposed to say, I can't wait until hockey season. I love when ESPN puts on hockey games.
I'm not going to watch that.
Wow, no. Well, and then we just have to awkwardly move on to the next thing. There will be some basketball on ESPN, I'm told, probably shortly as well.
Well, no. NBA TV right now, the preseason tipping off for the NBA. Shout out to Miller North grads Hunter Salas and St. Thomas with the Philadelphia 76ers over in Abu Dhabi.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was that, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're what's the score?
They are doing starting lineups.
Oh, did they do they go live for the intros like the Big East tournament?
I don't really know. I've got it on mute because I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Did they do the anthem?
Oh God. You don't have to comment on that, Jacob. That's okay. All right. Hey, I wanted to ask before we get going here, speaking of basketball, I'll cover all things basketball. What did you think of the comments coming out of the WNBA over the last couple of days and what happens as a result of that going forward?
Yeah. We've seen some contentious player league, like public posturing before around CBA time. I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like that. And what Nafisa Collier said, and she, so far, it seems like she's had the backing of all the players who are basically saying, yeah, what Fee said. She's right. So not a great look for the commissioner and the way she seems to operate. That Caitlin Clark anecdote from Collier was, oh boy, talk about just completely not understanding and how the nature of things and the reality just unfortunately what that seems to indicate is we probably aren't going to be seeing WNBA basketball for quite a while after the Mercury win this title.
Yep, and Josh will have another prediction on the board that ends up being correct, I think. And no NBA season or WNBA season in 2026. By the way, we have now turned it to NBA TV just to watch along with you. So we're very excited to watch. It's the Knicks. It's 2 now, the Sixers.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Excited. There it goes. The lights just turned on. The Abu Dhabi games 2025. All right. Let's go volleyball first. What's on the mind, do you think, of Nebraska volleyball as they head out to Penn State to get? I mean, it's a little bit of a different look here, but of course, you don't forget about how things went between these two teams last year.
Yeah, it was kind of funny actually. Like listening to Rebecca Alec talk about it, like in kind of at the start of it. She's basically, rivalry's still there, but that match last year, it was almost a year ago. Not much we can do about it right now, so don't want to dwell on the loss. And then later she said, actually, I still see them as the same team from last year, and I'm hungry, and I want to So she tried to give the coach speak answer, and then circled back to, I really want to win this game because of last year. So I think the team's done a good job of just staying in the moment and taking care of business, but it's pretty clear that they really want this one because, I mean, you look last year, they lost 3 matches all season long, and 2 of them were to Penn State.
How if they're able to, or let me ask it this way. Do you subscribe at all to the theory that Nebraska needs to lose a match before, like in the short term, just so they can have that off of, the weight of being undefeated off their shoulders? Do you subscribe to that theory at all?
I don't think so. I mean, they've been in that spot before, some of the players, and I think too that we've seen. Again, we talked about the way that they've been able to rally within matches and kind of address whatever issues they have and turn matches around. So if they continue to do that all season long, then I think you'd rather just keep winning than not. And I mean, you look at Texas right now and where their resume's at, and Texas has a better resume than Nebraska right now. So, I mean, ultimately 1 versus 2 seed doesn't really matter that much. Not really. But if they want to earn the overall number 1 seed come the NCAA tournament, they're probably going to need to keep racking up these wins to try to maintain pace with Texas. And looking at the Big Ten now, and I mean, this Penn State match is a good example of that. It's the Big Ten, and particularly Nebraska's schedule, isn't as tough as it's been in the past.
No.
Penn State was expected to be a top 5 team, reigning champions, returning a lot from that team. And that's Nebraska's one double play among the top expected teams in the league, because they go to Wisconsin, they go to Purdue, I believe.
Yes.
They don't get double plays with those teams. So you don't have quite as many opportunities for top wins as you typically expect in the Big Ten. So obviously, yeah, we'll see kind of how they handle pressure as the season goes on, and if that gets to them at any point. Like, I think it's a case where probably just keep winning, and if you get to a point where you do drop one, we'll see you can see if they learn from it, and that'll kind of, whatever that pressure is, if they feel it, will kind of come off the top, and then they can rally from it. But I never believe that you have to take a loss. I think if you can get something good from a loss, if you take one, but I don't think losing is a requirement for continuing to have a great season.
It's interesting, what you sort of mentioned there, like, the Big Ten is used to having these, national championship contenders at the top. Wisconsin is still obviously in that conversation. Penn State might not be, with sort of how their season has gone so far. Does it seem a little bit lighter to you at the top this year, not only on Nebraska's schedule, but just in the league in general in the conference this year?
Yeah, I mean, you look at behind Nebraska, Wisconsin's second at 7th, and then you've got Minnesota hanging in there at 10th, despite losing 3 starters to season-ending injuries. We'll see kind of if Minnesota can maintain that. An incredible start to the season, considering what they've gone through, and still hanging around there. But then, yeah, it's Purdue, and then Penn State's fallen all the way down to 16, I believe. So, yeah, it's still, you still got a handful of good teams. You just don't have the best team in the country, like anybody in that conversation outside of Nebraska at this point.
Jacob Padilla from Hurrdat Sports is with us. Jacob, let's do some Creighton basketball here quickly, as we got I had a couple chances to see them practice. They're gearing up for the season a little bit. We talked last week about, the open sort of period that they had, and it was kind of interesting to see how they're going to sort this whole thing out in the short term. While they don't have Owen Freeman, and yes, we can, you can self retweet that tweet about Owen Freeman still not being able to practice for John Rothstein again. We know it's the same thing. But like, what do you expect them to do? They're trying to speed up Conan and Dmitrievich as much as they possibly can, but like, what does this look like in the first couple weeks of the season here?
Yeah, you talk about I say every time the more I see, the less certain I feel about how this is going to turn out.
I know.
Just in terms of what the rotation is going to look like, because every time I think I've got something, then I'll see something different that's like, oh, maybe not. So, yeah, this most of the time, McDermott has his rotation decisions basically made for him. There's like a minor, like, all right, can we get a guy a few minutes here and survive, something like that. But for the most part, everybody knows their roles and what it's going to look like. This season, I don't think we're there quite yet. It's going to be probably the toughest decisions that McDermott has had to make in terms of playing time and how long do guys go and how deep does he go into his bench and kind of how do you manage the guys that aren't playing regularly that probably are capable of doing so. So it's definitely a different feel than we've seen in the past. And the Freeman injury really makes that even more difficult to figure out because you just don't get to see what the full picture looks like.
Right.
You don't get to see what all these guys look like playing with Freeman. And it's been better since Conan's got here and Dmitrievich, and just in terms of the ability to kind of run more normal lineups and put guys where they're supposed to be. And you've got Conan rolling to the rim and posting up a little bit. So you can kind of duplicate some of what they're going to be doing once Freeman gets out there, but they can't get the defensive look and figure out, all right, this is what the best path for us is going to be with our starting group, because Mac even said, like, Freeman got hurt before he got a chance to really see what he does well. And you can like look on tape and kind of see what he's done in the past and try to project what he might be good at with this team, but you never know. Like, that's Creighton's defensive. The way they operate defensively
it's scheme heavy,
different than Iowa.
Yeah. It'll be really, really fascinating. They don't know what they're going to do, and they can't know until, like you said, he gets back out there, and that affects everybody. That affects lineups that you play outside of that position as well.
Yeah. So, and I talk about just not knowing more or not knowing what it's going to look like. Like, we'll see kind of how I think Conan will probably end up being the backup five, but depending on how he does and how many minutes Freeman plays early, I think the small ball looks are still on the table with Jason Green and Isaac Trout maybe playing together in the front court. And I think that would open up some minutes for some other guys on the wing. And because like, I haven't been to every practice like Matt DeMarinis has, but what he said, Isaac Trout's doing really well.
He is.
And has throughout practice. So that's a guy that we haven't talked a lot about, and you kind of figure, oh, Jackson McAndrew poised for this big sophomore year leap. How does what does that leave for Isaac minutes wise? But like, if he's playing as well as it sounds like he is, like, you got to get minutes for him. So what does that look like? So it just, again, the more they go, the more guys it feels like they have to get minutes for, and the number of minutes in a game isn't increasing, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this from the perspective of like Mac and Huss the other day. Like, you said it at the very beginning, but they've had this all, and Mac mentioned it a couple days ago. Like, they've had this all figured out. It's figured out for them on paper, lineups and what they're going to be like and the style that they need to play before practice even starts. Not that they don't have options, they do, but that in turn creates not a problem. You'd rather have options than not, but it just creates a big giant question mark on, like, what are we going to be and who are we going to play? I mean, you could literally convince me of just about anything at this point.
Yeah, and it probably will come down most to the guys that really buy into the way they want to play and the things really click for them. And like he said, how the pieces fit together. That's going to be huge, I think, in terms of tiebreakers. Like, this guy, like we talk about Jason Green, like what he provides is very much needed with the potential starting group because he does something different than anybody else. And that ultimately could be what gets Hudson Greer on the court early as well, just with his athleticism, ability to spot up and shoot, how hard he plays defensively. Like he's still learning the ins and outs and of the scheme and what he needs to do and where he needs to be, but he gives you he's a little different than the other options there on the wings. And that could get him in if he's kind of more complementary to the other guys that are going to be playing the heavy minutes, because you got a lot of guys out there that can get you buckets. You're going to be obviously playing through Freeman in the post. You got Dix and Zugic as your kind of lead playmakers. Sorry, excuse me.
Bless you. I think.
Yeah, that was that was a sneeze. I was trying to fight it off. But so guys that can kind of fill in the cracks ultimately might be the ones that fill out those last rotation spots that just really complement the other guys that are going to be playing heavy minutes.
Where are we at for high school football this weekend, or are we?
Yeah, not a lot. Class A Central Prep is the biggest one. There are 0 ranked matchups in Class B. So it's really, obviously I've got Penn State, Nebraska. I'll be home watching that one. So not going to be out on the road, but I'll try to pay attention to that Central Prep game, because obviously massive win for Central last week, especially credit to them for bouncing back from what North did to them a few weeks ago. They were in a rough spot during that game and then after, the way it got away from them and just the way they were playing. And just soon after to rally to beat a team like Westside is a credit to kind of their mental toughness and them improving and figuring out, all right, this is what went wrong in this game. We can't let it happen again. And they got the win. So the Prep is up to 3 in our rankings. They haven't faced any of the other top teams. So they're up there with an unbeaten record. And now is the chance to prove that they belong there. So that's kind of the big one that I'll be watching this week that has implications for the Class A.
All right, Jacob. Well, we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of this exhibition game from Abu Dhabi. I'm sure I know you will.
I appreciate it, Connor. Talk to you next week.
So yeah, Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports, covering a little bit of everything. Creighton basketball. Yeah, you mentioned Hudson Greer there at the end. It'll just be so like nobody can make any guarantees on who plays and how much, but when you just go and watch him, he kind of has the, like, I think what another thing that you're looking for with all these new guys is like who's going to bring that kind of, the kind of dog, people call it the dog mentality or like the killer instinct or whatever. Like he's got
that dog in him.
He's got some dude to him. Yeah. And he's got a heck of a motor. And so I think all the boxes have been checked so far on Greer. Obviously, you still have to know where you're at and where you're going and what to do. What they do offensively and defensively is pretty intricate. So you have to know all that stuff, but he's got the vibe of a guy who's a really good Creighton basketball player for 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Kind of one of those guys. Like McAndrew sort of did it first. McAndrew's a little bit quieter, but I think he's got some of those capabilities. Then we'll see what happens with the rest. Like, I like what I've seen from Graves. And Dix obviously is going to get his buckets, and Jason Green does what he does. Fedor being out there and in there all the time.
40 years old.
There's just going to be more like, I think especially in the early going, there's just going to be more variance, right? You for the past couple of years, especially with Kalkbrenner, you just knew exactly what you were going to get from a performance perspective. Like in these games, like you knew going into the game. Yeah, I think this is a game that they'll play well in, and of course they'll play well and they'll win or they'll fall short. But you could play the matchups, right? I just think with this group, especially in the early going, there's going to be some variance there because you have to kind of get it to come together a little bit, and you don't have a dude, you don't have a dude. You might have to recreate the dude in the aggregate.
Oh, you got to figure it out.
Money ball. So we'll see how that looks early in the early going for the Blue Jays. All right, we'll take a quick time out here. Chris Solari of the Detroit Free Press. He covers Michigan State. We had him on for summer school in the summer. Nice get, Josh. A lot of stuff going on with Michigan State. I like their quarterback quite a bit. Do I like anything else about them? Maybe not quite as much. They have a bunch of injury concerns. Their defense has been getting torn up over the last couple games, and they especially have some concerns in the offensive line. But what do they look at when they see Nebraska, a team that has got gashed on the ground a couple times by, well, they wouldn't call him Big Brother, but Big Brother, Michigan. So there's a lot to know, I think, about Michigan State. So Chris Solari is our guest on the other side. He'll be with us on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. And a reminder, of course, yes, as Matt McMaster said earlier, Big Red Overreaction is coming up after the game on Saturday. So we'll be around 6:30. Matt and I live here in the 1620 The Zone studios and on 1019 The Keg. Brought to you by Equitable Bank, No Name Nutrition, Jason Contracting, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, and Peerless Energy Systems. We're back with Chris Solari after this. right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Michigan State is the opponent coming up this Saturday. It is Jonathan Smith's second year at the helm for Sparty so far. Of course, this season, 3-1, coming off of the loss to USC. People may have noticed the defense. It's a little bit leaky so far this year. There's also a variety of injury concerns as well, and so it'll be good and helpful for us to catch up with our friend Chris Solari from the Detroit Free Press, who joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Chris, thanks for doing this again. Appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing well. Getting ready to hop a flight to your fair city very soon.
Excellent. Enjoy. I assume you're flying into Omaha, right?
Yes,
Okay.
flying into Omaha for this. Usually for basketball, I'll fly directly into Lincoln, but for football, it's usually Omaha.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, though. It's been quite a while, it seems like.
Well, you'll notice.
The last time I was there was a ridiculous second half snowstorm that really, in a lovely 9-6 game at Memorial Stadium, that I had to white knuckle it back from Lincoln to Omaha. And thankfully, the car rental facility at the wonderful Epley Airport happened to give me a Jeep. So I was able to navigate it very well. So I think fondly of my time in Nebraska at that last trip.
It's called Nebraska Nice. They knew somehow that there was going to be a flash snowstorm. So that was in 2018. You'll notice when you land here this afternoon that we're a bit under construction at the moment. There's some things that are going on at the airport, but maybe when Michigan State comes back the next time, it'll be a brand new scene at Epley Airfield. But right now, pardon our dust.
One of my big regrets. I lived in Sioux Falls for about 5-6 years, and I did not spend enough time in Omaha.
Okay,
and a little bit here or there, but Omaha is just a wonderful city, so I am excited to get back.
Okay, let's go with Sparty so far this season. What's been the story to you over the first 4 games, like the emerging storyline that has come out that from this team that maybe you didn't expect, or that sort of shines brighter amongst all of them through the first 4?
Yeah, I think the obvious story is the growth and development of Aiden Childs, not just year over year from his first year as a starter after transferring to Oregon State, but game by game, you're seeing incremental improvement. He had a big turnover problem early in the year. That's in 2024, and that's expected from a first-time starting quarterback. But back end of that year, wasn't taking as many downfield chances, but was being a little more protective with the ball. Now, since you get into 25 season, he's been taking more shots down the field and protecting the ball. He's been much better and more judicious on when to abandon the pocket and run, and he is an electric, dynamic playmaker with his legs. But he's been more judicious with that and allowed receivers to get a little more of their routes run. He's getting a little better protection at times from that, but he's also getting chased quite a bit too, and he's getting sacked quite a bit. But he also has not made the catastrophic errors that you saw that really cost them in the early part of last season. I think it's been a fascinating growth curve to see him, and I think he's got a very bright future because he has, like I said, he has the dynamic ability to run the ball, but his arm is as good as you will see in college football.
Just watching him, Chris, it seems like, he's got a lot of confidence. I mean, he plays with a certain amount of swagger. You can see that. I would imagine that rubs off on the people around him offensively.
It really does. And I think in getting to know him, getting to know his family a little bit over the course of the last year plus, he has the confidence and the swagger, but he doesn't necessarily have the ego, which I think is, it's a rare thing in this day and age, first of all, but also, you take into the fact, well, this is a kid from Los Angeles. You expect him to have that kind of megawatt star power. He's a pretty humble kid, and he's a pretty well-spoken kid. He's a thoughtful kid who, when you ask him a question, he wants to make sure he understands the question so he can give you a right answer. And in getting to know his parents a little bit, they're both teachers. So it all kind of, I talked with them in February when I was out in LA for the basketball trip. And I was just struck because it's like, you can tell sometimes when you have a teacher's kid, because they just get bigger picture things. And I think Aiden Childs gets a lot of those bigger picture things, which why it's not surprising to see the development that he has shown over the course of the last year, based on just the personality of the kid. But it is a big personality too. I mean, he's a fun-loving kid, and I think that he doesn't. Sometimes I think he stays. Last year, he stayed fixated on some of the mistakes because there's a little bit of a perfectionist tendency to him.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, you're seeing him kind of get past those. Kind of the understanding that experience will breed that confidence, and he hasn't changed who he is. And I think that's a big thing.
In the context of Michigan State's season, Chris Solari, Detroit Free Press, is with us. How big is this game? We talked about it when you came on in August, right? It was just felt like a swing game for really both teams. I would imagine it still feels that way. It definitely feels that way for Nebraska too.
Yeah, very much does, especially because the USC game for Michigan State, I thought was they're all pivot points at this point for a program that's trying to get back to a bowl game for the first time in 3 years. But the USC game, to me, I thought you go out to make that long trip, and they obviously gerrymandered the time to a very disadvantageous 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time kickoff for them. You just got to fight through things, and I thought they showed a lot more fight than this program has in a while. And I think that was one of those games that, win or lose, you needed to make a statement of what you want your program to be. And I think that's kind of what this game is too now. I mean, you come off a loss. How are you going to respond? I mean, they beat Iowa last year coming off their bye. That was one of the momentary high points in the middle of a real long stretch of losing that ultimately cost them a bowl berth a year ago. So how are you going to respond going to a hostile environment in Nebraska? And it's going to be unlike USC, because I don't think that, USC had a very nice crowd, but there was also probably, I think, a rough estimate around 15 to 20,000 Michigan State fans there, because it was a major event and they've got such a big alumni base out in the Southern California area. This isn't going to be the same. And this is going to be a sea of red. This is going to be a true road environment. How are you going to handle it?
Take us through the injury report for this game. It seems extensive for Michigan State.
Yeah, I think part of it is that I'm just a little attentive to detail when I put together my injury reports. Anybody gets knocked out of a game, I give them, are you back in? You're probable for the next game. Are you not back in? Hey, you're questionable. But they had some pretty significant injuries out in LA. The scary one was Wayne Matthews, the starting linebacker. He left the field on a stretcher. They had to cut off his pads. They took him to LA General Hospital. He was on a backboard and a neck brace. There was a lot of scariness to it. But he managed. I think they were being overly cautious because he made the return flight with Michigan State, and he's back practicing. And Jonathan Smith last night said that he thinks that there's a pretty good chance that he will play in this game on his radio show. So that's a plus for them. But safety Nakai Martinez has been banged up all year. He got banged up in the USC game. He's questionable. They're going to be without their starting left tackle, Stanton Ramil, for the next month, which is a big loss because they already lost Luka Vincic, an Oregon State transfer who was starting at guard. So you're down 2 starting offensive linemen. You lose your number 2 middle linebacker and Brady Pretzloff for the season. And Nick Marsh and Mekhi Frazier both were banged up going into the USC game, but both played and, both had the week to heal with the bye. I thought Mekhi Frazier played through the injury that he had to his leg pretty well. I think ended up it looked a lot scarier when he got hurt against Youngstown State than it actually ended up being. I think it looked like it was a knee, but it was probably an ankle. But he ran balls, especially in the second half, better. Marsh was more of a decoy in that game. And if Michigan State's going to go on the road and win a game, they need Nick Marsh, because I think he's up there in that conversation. I don't think he's Jeremiah Smith, but he's not far behind in terms of the impact for Michigan State's offense. He's by far Child's top target.
Yep.
And if he is 100%, he is a game breaker. And it's someone that Nebraska is going to have to keep its eye on with that great pass defense, because Childs does like to throw to Marsh, and Marsh, when he gets into open space, can make things happen.
I'm curious about Michigan State's run game. You mentioned Frazier there. He's the leading rusher. Childs is actually second, and we talked about running backs before the season started when we had John in August. And I think, we were, it was like, yeah, probably be two different guys, and they were Tolliver and Tullis, and now Frazier is sort of stepped up to be the top guy so far. Knowing, you just mentioned Nebraska's pass defense, which has been good so far this year. They've been leaky as far as rush defense is concerned. How do you think that part of the game will sort of match up with Michigan State trying to get after it on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Jonathan Smith and Brian Lindgren, his offensive coordinator, have talked about wanting this team to be. And there have been points where you've seen them really get some traction in the run game. And, I mean, Childs, like I said, I mean, they haven't really deployed him as much as maybe they could or should as a dynamic run force in terms of called run plays. So a lot of it's, escape pressure, take off. But they have used him in some specific moments and picked and choose when to run him. And that really, I think, it makes him pop when he does run. Right. I mean, you got to keep an eye on him, and you got to spy him. But Frazier has been, and I thought it was going to be between, Tolliver they brought in from Sacramento State. And I think that was kind of an insurance policy because he's a veteran guy. He wasn't Cam Scatabo. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I mean, he played with Cam Scatabo, but he was behind him. And, they didn't, he's been occasionally their third down guy and, number 3 guy, but it's been mostly Frazier with Tullis blended in there. And Tullis has had some carries, and he's been effective with carries, but he's struggled in pass pro mightily early on. And I think Frazier, though, is a hard downhill runner who can pick up big yards and has a good vision of and feel of when to cut it back against the grain, but is also still learning that sometimes you've got to take the 3 to 4 yard gains and keep going forward instead of trying to cut it back and get dropped for 2 yards. So I think there's a learning curve that goes on there. And I do think that the line has been effective at run blocking. It's hard to gauge with Michigan State because it's been so long since they've had what you would consider typical Michigan State running game outside of the Kenneth Walker year, which was all Kenneth Walker. It's been back to that 2015 era of Mark D'Antonio football, maybe 2017, where they were consistently running the ball and chewing up clock with heavy run personnel and blocking that just keeps milking the clock. That was the formula that kept Mark D'Antonio's defense fresh. And I think that's something that Michigan State needs to get back to really help their defense, because their defense is struggling against the run and the pass right now. So if they can chew up the ground a little bit and chew up the clock, I think that helps them.
Well, that's what I was going to leave you on, Chris. What is the crux of the issue on defense? Because like you said, it looks like it's an all-around problem right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it all, everyone talks about rush and cover, but it starts with the pass rush, and it starts with dropping the quarterback from your edge guys. And that's something that they've struggled to find pressure and sacks from the defensive end spot. And that's been an ongoing issue now for a few years. But, Mel Tucker, when he was here, was trying to rebuild the defensive end room. And, Jonathan Smith lost some guys to the portal with the coaching change. That's kind of inevitable. So he's trying to now rebuild it. They went out and got a couple transfers. They got Another LaFella from Wisconsin, who I think has shown to be a pretty good find. That he's a redshirt freshman, so he's a younger kid. David Santiago they brought in from Air Force. I think he's a sophomore, so he's a younger kid. So they've got guys that they like, but they're still kind of learning. How do you get to the quarterback? Because that's ultimately what's costing them in the secondary, I would say, because you're seeing 4 or 5 seconds of coverage back there. So you're going to eventually, if you have to cover for that long, that many plays, you're going to get beat a few times. So I do think they need to get the edge. I also think their linebackers are struggling in coverage, and I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see what Raiola does in exploiting the middle of the field, because you use your tight ends and you use your running backs on those little crossers. That gives Michigan State's linebackers fits right now between Hall and Wayne Matthews. So that's an area that's been a concern. But I think it all stems from, if you're not knocking the quarterback off the spot and making him uncomfortable and making the offense disrupted, those large chunks of yards that they've been giving up on some big plays are going to hit you.
All right, Chris. Well, we'll let you go. Appreciate you doing this as always. Safe travels out here, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, we'll see you hopefully on Saturday.
Chris Solari, Detroit Free Press. He will enjoy our dust in our beautiful new airport. We do have an airport update. Maybe
it's coming along.
Maybe it's just time to share it now. The doors 2 and 4 are done.
And what more do you really need?
Well, you need 1 and 3.
Oh, okay.
And I think they still have a whole nother building that they have to take out.
Take out?
Yeah, it's weird how they're doing it, because they're like doing they have to, still keep the airport functioning and running while also building a new airport on top of it. Sort of fascinating.
Connor, I will be able to give you a boots on the ground report.
Mr. Airport.
Next Friday.
Exciting.
Well, not boots on the ground. I'll be driving next to it. I would never go in the airport. Us
Josh.
fancy people don't go in the airport. We just go right on the tarmac.
I will be able to give you an airport update in 2 weeks.
Okay. We'll see how much work they get done in a week.
And I'll actually go in because I'm a norm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Man of the people, Connor Happer. That's what they call you.
We'll talk about this game a little bit later. That's good stuff from Chris there. It's the way I hear it, it's kind of like weakness on weakness.
Oh no.
It's kind of interesting. And we'll see how it plays out. Also, we have Curtis who writes in, can you ask what kind of fluidness he has seen from the Spartan team? I wonder if he would even get that. It was an innocuous comment from Jonathan Smith where he tripped over himself saying fluidity. But some people turn it into a drop, and then it turns into a different thing. I will never see the guy and not think fluid. All right, we'll be back. Odd News is up next on 1620 The Zone. But yes, first, a word from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have football tonight in the National Football League. Then, of course, all weekend long. So there's no better time to get in all the action with Underdog. You can make picks and win money right now in the state of Nebraska, and it's so easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more, and you get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Even you can take a look at some of those individual player picks in the green versus red, the Nebraska-Michigan State game on Saturday. There's plenty of options for you on Underdog. So take a look, see what you might like. It's a gigantic menu. Download the app today and sign up using promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first 5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 and over, present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. We know your time matters, so when you call us, we answer on the very first ring. That's our promise to you. We value your business and will treat you like a friend and neighbor, because more than likely, you are one. While other banks hide behind technology, we combine the best of both. Top-notch digital.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, Josh, it is time for the odd news. Thank you, by the way, to John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt for once again being in the chat today. I like this back-to-back messages. Signetti, quote, Google me. Rule, quote, don't Google me.
It would be funny if some coach came out and was like, I'm doing okay now, but don't Google me.
Please don't Google me. You know what? I fell down I forgot I did this last night. I fell down a really odd rabbit hole because I was, I don't know what got me on this. Oh, I remember. It was Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield was asked about him and Sam Darnold hanging out in the glory days in Carolina. And he was like,
all right.
The what now? Basically, yeah, he did not enjoy his time there.
Sure.
Matt Rule has talked about how they wanted Baker. They wanted to draft Baker. They weren't able to draft Baker, and then they got him in time for, the season that Rule ended up getting fired in. They had both him and Ian Darnold there, and they also had like DJ Moore and they had like a couple good players, and it was just kind of a disaster. So I was watching like an old Rule press conference when his feet were to when he was about to get fired in Carolina, just to see how he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a hole that I went down last night for some reason.
Wow.
But it sounds like Baker and Rule are cool. Actually, I don't know what Baker feels about Rule. I don't know why he would have anything against him, but obviously Rule's like, yeah, I love Baker. Baker's a competitor, all those things. Just weird times out there at Panther Town. This is not a cue for Greg and Myrtle Beach to call, by the way.
Panther Town.
Panther Town. I think they had some ownership issues. I think they had some management issues during that time. It was a different time, Josh. All right, what do we got?
We have, I love talking ball, love talking basketball. So here's a basketball story.
I love basketball.
Story in the odd news. We go to New Yorkers retiring to the
It's
great
not a
state
bit,
of
Josh.
Florida.
It's very real.
It's what they do.
It's called Boca.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard of Boca? Training camp for the Heat officially tipped off at Florida Atlantic University in
Boca Raton
Tuesday morning. And when Eric Spoelstra, he used to be the video guy for the team, he was speaking to reporters. One of the many New York transplants stepped up to ask a question about the expectations for this year's Miami Heat squad. And Eric did not take too kindly to this question. And he said, "Why are you here? Do you live down here or something? Go back to New York. I'm tired of all the New Yorkers moving down here. I'm dead serious."
Wow. Now, that is, if he was in politics, they would say that is not a good thing to say because many of his constituents are New Yorkers. You're right. No, he doesn't have constituents. He only has to worry about his basketball team, but that is kind of fascinating.
Now everyone would say, why would Eric with a K yell at that man like that? Well,
yeah, why does he hate New York?
Turns out the person there was New York Post Knicks beat reporter Mark Berman asking him the question. Mark retired from the Knicks beat a few years ago.
And he moved to Florida?
And freelances at the Palm Beach Post.
Amazing.
So it's almost like Eric Spoelstra knew this.
I don't know what people feel. Amazing Daniel's got some comments. I cannot say what. All I know is my grandparents migrated south from New York. They did not go to Florida. They went to North Carolina. Many people are going to North Carolina.
Is North Carolina the new Florida?
I mean, kind of. It is for a lot of New Yorkers. There's a lot of New Yorkers in I think the area that Amazing Daniel lives in, that my grandparents lived in as well, Raleigh.
Everyone says it's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it is.
That's what you hear.
Who wouldn't love the Carolina Hurricanes?
Former Stanley Cup champions.
Go Canes.
And future Stanley Cup champions once again at some point.
At some point, maybe. Mm-hmm. What else we got, Josh?
Well, Connor, we're waiting for my internet to load. I'll tell you a story about
just tell me any story,
Any
Josh.
story?
Yeah,
well,
any story. How's that air conditioner coming?
Not great, Connor. 81 in the house at midnight last night.
This has been going on for far too long.
And there's another week left.
A week? So this, are you going to get
October 8th?
Are you going to get to a month before you have working air conditioner in your house?
I believe it will be the date that they install it, and God help
they will. Yeah.
God help you if you say, "Well, we're going to have to come back and finish this tomorrow," because I will kidnap you. Yeah, I believe that will be 1 month.
Holy God.
Without air conditioning.
That's extreme, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile.
Oh, we have it?
Yeah.
Good.
We go to a Missouri college where Missouri State, to be exact, where Bobby Petrino used to coach.
People forget.
Minutes after vandalizing 17 cars in a Missouri college parking lot, a 19-year-old sophomore had a lengthy chat with ChatGPT, which he confessed to the crime.
What should I do after I vandalize cars?
And asked about the possibility of getting caught and wondered, quote, "Is there any way they could know it was me?"
Yes.
Yes,
there is. You didn't need to ask ChatGPT about that.
Ryan Schaefer was arrested and charged with felony property damage.
Schaefer
for a rampage at Missouri State University. He shattered car windows, ripped off side mirrors, dented hoods, and broke windshield wipers off during the 3 a.m. spree. When confronted with surveillance footage and other evidence, Schaefer said he could see the resemblance between the suspect and himself. He then consented to a search of his iPhone, where they found a search history consisting of a conversation with ChatGPT filled with typos.
Now, okay. Now,
you want to know what he asked?
This is just I do, but let me just say first that this is just insult to injury, because they would have found him anyway. But the only reason this is making the odd news is because he he chat GPT'd what do I do, right? Like he would have got caught anyway, and then he would have gone to jail or whatever he has to do, pay a fine.
Well, he asked a few questions. First question, will I go to jail?
Okay.
Little typo there. How bleeped am I?
Yeah.
And then there was
Should have asked that
another
question before you actually did it.
Yes. What if I smashed the bleep out of multiple cars?
But did he purposefully vandalize?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know. He probably. No, there's a lot of other questions he could ask.
A lot of other questions.
All right.
Finally, Connor, very quickly.
Many people are wondering about your AC situation.
Oh, yeah?
Josh. Yeah, they're concerned about
Happy to answer any and all questions. Unless the question is, how does it take a month for a part to get here?
He does not have the answer.
I don't have the answer to that. I'm at.
People are wondering. We could bang this
company.
up. Do you think this story is good?
Ooh, I like it, but
or would you like to do a Q&A about your?
Let's do the Q&A. I can do this story tomorrow.
Now people are wondering why you didn't order the parts online and fix it yourself. Josh has got TikTok hands.
You're funny, guys. You're
Josh.
funny. You're funny.
Colin says my household AC broke down this summer right at the start of the big heat wave across the country. I couldn't get a new one scheduled installation for 5 weeks. There's some people that are with you here.
Solidarity, brother.
Let's see. From the 402, I predict the high of 60 when Josh gets his AC fixed. 100%. You know that's going to happen, right?
Oh,
you're going to get the AC installed, and it's going to get winter.
That's when
immediately.
Yeah.
You know that. Right?
That's why it's been 80 and 90 for the last week or two.
Correct. What do they call that? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law. That's exactly what's happening to you without air conditioner.
Feels like it.
Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
If we didn't have AC for one day, my wife would replace me with someone who could fix it. I just learned how to do it all on YouTube now.
That's interesting.
What do you say to that? Are you surprised that your wife hasn't replaced you?
Every day. For the last 13 years, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering the same when I got a picture from her the other night about, once again, of you sleeping on the couch. It's a great bit.
I like a snooze.
You do. You do. And you're not afraid to admit it.
I'm not
either.
Everyone else is like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll tell you front and center. I'm going to fall asleep in 5 minutes.
I'm excited for Josh to be a happier man when he gets his AC. Also for it to turn winter at that exact moment.
I'm also excited to cook a meal in my own home because we have not touched our oven in the last
out of
month.
fear of it getting too hot.
Yeah, you don't want it to get hot in the house.
How much have the windows been open the entire time?
The entire time.
Gets warm during the day, Josh.
It does.
All right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's a tough subject. All right, we'll be back. The noon hour is coming up. We have a lot of things to get to, including will Nebraska win on Saturday? Let Taylor Swift tell you.
She's seen a Husker football game this year.
We'll get into that next on 1620 The Zone. Hey,
Hey,
this
what?
better not be playing on the stream.
It is not. I made damn sure.
She is.
I don't even know it's playing on the radio.
At least I can hear it in my ears. Hey. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Josh. Very topical. Topic alert. Sam writes in, dang, sad. What was playing? A Taylor Swift song that we definitely cannot play on
A
the stream.
song by a young lady
Owned by her. She has the rights to it.
Whose name rhymes with Schmaler Schmift.
We could say Taylor Swift, right? It's not like the Super Bowl.
Careful.
We could say it out loud. That's why when we just notified everybody that we're talking about Taylor Swift, we said it on Twitter. That way we get the algo going. Who knows?
Get the clicks.
All right. So Taylor Swift is releasing an album tomorrow. It's called something about showgirls. Josh, tell me about it.
The life of a showgirl. I could tell you all about the movie Showgirls, but that's a different segment.
No, tell me
for a
about
different show.
Taylor Swift. The life of a showgirl.
The life of a showgirl.
Okay,
That's right, Connor.
And what is it? What is it about?
Title track is a guest spot with a young lady by the name of Sabrina Carpenter.
Whoa,
ever
she's
heard
big
of
right
her?
now.
Yeah. Let's see. Produced by Max Martin. I believe there's 12 songs.
Does
on
that
it.
matter?
I don't know. There's a movie in movie theaters this weekend
with Taylor Swift.
It's the album, but like there's music videos, behind the scenes stuff. Like they'll play the songs
Dear
and there's like
Lord.
lyrics on the screen.
All right, people need to get a life.
Wait till Monday when you find out how many people went to go see it, Connor.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be the most watched movie in the last 4 years. So I figured we'd look back at all of Taylor Swift's original album releases and see how Nebraska football did in the days immediately following that. So
this is good.
Josh, immediately you recognized something that I recognized last night as I was doing this research. Apparently music used to be released on Tuesdays.
That's right, Connor.
I didn't know about this.
Now it comes out on Friday.
Fridays, aka New Music Friday, as Nick Grimm has taught us a lot about over the years. So these are just games in which Nebraska has played in the immediate aftermath of a Taylor Swift album release. So she used to put albums out on Tuesdays like everybody else. That's only in which the games only count in which Nebraska played on the next Saturday.
Yeah, it can't be like, hey, I released an album in July and 6 weeks later, Nebraska.
I do have stats for that for the record. But and then of course the Friday and only the Saturday afterwards. So let's go through all the albums. Taylor Swift, the self-titled album, came out on October 24th, 2006. Now, this is before she's into all the numerology crap and she's playing tricks on everybody, right? This is when she was actually doing music instead of just trying to tell secrets through numbers, right? So she put out an album on October 24th, 2006. Nebraska lost at Oklahoma State that weekend, 41-29 in 2006. Fearless, her second album, came out on November 11th, 2008. Nebraska won at K-State the next Saturday, or the Saturday that followed, November 15th, 56-28. Shout out to Joey Gans. Speak Now came out on October 25th, 2010. Nebraska, 2010, won 5 days later against Missouri, 31-17. Red is an album, Josh. Red.
Oh, yeah.
October 22nd, 2012, Nebraska played a game 5 days later against Michigan, and they won 23-9. That was the game where, coincidentally, I believe it was Devin Gardner who was supposed to be the quarterback. Why coincidentally Devin Gardner? Because Devin Gardner will be in the house to do the game with Timmy B on Saturday against Michigan State. Devin Gardner, I think, was out for that game. So it was like, or he got hurt during that game, something like that. It was Russell Bellamy who came in and started Bowsermaning it all the way into the stands. Nebraska won 23-9. 1989.
The best Taylor Swift album.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know this. Came out October 27th, 2014. Nebraska later that week won against Purdue, 35-14 in Bo Pelini's final season.
I'm hearing the word win a lot.
Bo Pelin. Reputation came out November 10th, 2017. What was going on in 2017? Well, not a lot of good things for Nebraska football. Nebraska, one day later, lost at Minnesota 54-21. I believe their quarterback was named Demery Croft, and he ran for like 3,000 yards in that game. Demery Croft was a horrible quarterback. And I believe he went into the transfer portal after that year and ended up playing tight end at North Texas. Nebraska got absolutely smoked by this guy. Their defense was so bad. Diakomania, of course.
Sam with a quick fact on
one of the worst performances I've ever seen a Nebraska football team have in my life. Probably the worst. What's the fact?
Demery Croft just signed with the Omaha Beef.
Well, hello, Demery, if you're listening. Lover came out August 23rd, 2019. So this is a week and a day before the season started. So this is not count.
Okay.
In the record. But the next game Nebraska played after that was their season opening win against South Alabama in 2019, Scott Frost's second year. But this does not count.
Doesn't count.
Folklore came out July 24th, 2020. As you know, Nebraska didn't play a football game until late October of that year.
Thank you, Desmond Howard.
So that doesn't happen at all. Although the next game they did play after that was against Ohio State. They got beat like, what was it, 52-17 or something like that. But Luke McCaffrey had a nice touchdown run on the first drive. Evermore came out December 11th, 2020, just 5 months later, Josh. Did you know about this?
I did. She had a busy COVID.
She was doing a lot of stuff during COVID, knitting and doing 2 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska coincidentally lost one day later to Minnesota at home when Minnesota came to Nebraska extremely shorthanded because of COVID.
Oh, yes.
There was a snowstorm the previous night. Big time disaster. I was going to say big reputation, but that's a different one. Nebraska lost that game. And another one of the worst performances by a Nebraska football team that I could possibly remember. Midnights came out October 21st, 2022. Nebraska had a bye that week.
We had a show.
This is in the Connor Happer Show era.
Their
next game, they lost to Illinois 26-9. This game is notable because that was the game where Matt Rule had come to visit Nebraska incognito and slept in Trev's basement.
The perfect weather day.
Yep. They scored 3 field goals that day. The Tortured Poets Society
Department
came out on April 19th, 2024. That doesn't really do anything for us. Nebraska had a spring game, I'm sure. I don't remember what happened in it. And then that brings us to tomorrow when
album
Showgirls will be released.
12.
And Nebraska will play Michigan State. So 4-3 in the days immediately following a Taylor Swift album release. If you don't count the South Alabama game, which was, the album was released a week before the season started. And then, of course, the July album and the bye week one that I mentioned against Minnesota and the spring game one. So 4-3. What did we learn from this? Nothing. Not a single thing.
Well, I don't know if we learned nothing.
Other than they went 4-3. Like you're looking for trends, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for trends somewhere.
Trends are bad as of late.
Bad as of late used to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, Nebraska used to be a better football program. When Taylor Swift started out her career making albums. I mean, yes, it was the Bill Callahan era, but just think about this. When Taylor Swift released her first album, Nebraska was only 5 years removed from being in a national championship game.
Wow.
Doesn't that feel like a long time ago?
It does.
Yeah. She was just a little baby. And now she's an adult, engaged woman. Her boyfriend is an aging tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Rapidly aging.
Rapidly aging. Hippie writes in.
Hi, Hippie.
I have an 8-year-old daughter. So yeah, T Swift is in my life. There you go. I don't know. I don't know how like Creighton's done. I just looked it up for Nebraska.
Purdue has the worst record. I believe they've never won.
Really?
They're over. They were 0-6 in 2022.
Okay. Good to know. And 2022 was not, that was the last one that was released during the season.
Okay, so a lot of these records would still be true. Is that correct?
If you're not counting like, you know, the last album she came out with was released in April. Like if you're not counting the first game of that year, which I'm not personally.
I'm not. Alabama 6-0, Boise 6-0.
Wow. I've been told Caleb Henry let me know that he's going to have a story up later on today on Husker Max that will go through some of these numbers.
Caleb, get those clicks.
You got to do it. You must get the clicks.
The Ohio State 8-0.
Michael Bruntz will join us in just a little bit. Mark Kingston will join us at 1:00. That is still to come on the Connor Happer Show. I also wanted to get to this. This is the big story in college athletics yesterday. Sources from many. I mean, Ross Dellinger had this, and Pete Tweets, and Dan Wetzel, and I'm sure Pete Nakos, and all these people had this yesterday. The Big Ten is in discussions about a private capital deal that would infuse at least $2 billion into the league and its schools. Sources told ESPN on Wednesday. The discussions include a 10-year extension of the league's grant of rights until 2046, which would ensure long-term stability for the Big Ten. According to sources, the private capital deal and the grant of rights extension have been discussed for months and presented in multiple forms. It is widely believed that if this particular deal doesn't get done, the Big Ten will be taking private capital money from somebody somewhere in the short-term future. A deal and the grant of rights extension would also be a distinct blow to the outside entities attempting to form super leagues around college sports. While there is support from nearly the entire league, according to sources, a few of the league's biggest brands, like Ohio State and Michigan, are still in discussions with the league. Now, why might that be? Well, a decision on the private capital deal is expected in the upcoming weeks from the schools in the Big Ten, and nothing is considered imminent or certain. There are 3 different private capital entities being considered by the Big Ten, and the league has not taken a vote. Now, once again, why might there be some issues with this? Well, I wonder, Josh, about a little story that we brought up a couple weeks ago from Admiral Ted Carter. Remember when we brought you the news that Admiral Ted Carter had his hand hovering over the big red button? He was wondering out loud.
I've heard this.
He was sort of wondering out loud while not trying to wonder out loud. Hey, why is our payout the same as Purdue's, the same as Rutgers, the same as Maryland's and stuff like that? I wonder if this private equity infusing into the league is to maybe make up for that a little bit. The private equity would be distributed unevenly across the teams in the league. Yes, it would provide stability, but of course there is some reporting out there that it would be based on the revenue that each school or the percentage of revenue that each school earns, for the league, if that makes sense.
A little bit.
The private capital, this is from Pete Tweets and Wetzel. The private capital company would get money back through the new entity through annual distribution in proportion to its financial stake. The Big Ten will essentially have 20 equity shares comprising the 18 schools, the league, and this investor. Sources told ESPN that this setup eliminates the need to give an outside investor a specific portion of control over the decisions or board seats, something that college presidents have been generally uncomfortable with. One of the philosophies behind the proposed move, which is being shepherded by Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, is that the league believes its ability to generate revenue holistically has been underserved, and it would be sharing a small percentage of greater profits with the outside investor. It also helps the league potentially better scale and leverage its 18 members. Another source familiar with the Big Ten's discussion summed it up this way, quote, "We're underselling the strength of what we do and the way we are structured. This is a way to organize ourselves better." Nebraska Athletic Director Troy Dannon is quoted in the story, is quoted from an Associated Press article last week on the looming discussions of teams wearing corporate logos on their jersey. Quote, "If you jump in now, I'm going to let a little bit of money because," he said, "I'm going to get a little bit of money because of the jersey patches. I would really like to see if there's an opportunity for a conference to pull all the jersey patch rights together, and all of a sudden they're worth a whole lot more to the institutions when 18 are playing instead of just one." So basically they're talking about some conference-wide sponsorship opportunities that get served by this private equity. And one of the key things that I sort of wonder about with this is obviously why.
Money.
Yeah, but why? Why do you need more money? Why do you need more money?
To have more money.
Exactly, Josh. To have more money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
To have more money.
Glad I nailed that.
You did. You did. But some people might look at this and say, well, why do you need more money? And the answer is yes, of course, to have more money. Is that a good reason to take in private equity? $2 billion worth of private equity from other places. It gives maybe these individual schools the ability to be a little bit more comfortable in the things that they do. I see another option on the table. Now, it might be a little bit more scary. As by the way, I'm looking at an NBA preseason game in which it appears Fat Joe is performing.
He's not fat anymore.
Not so fat.
Yeah.
I thought that I might throw that into the conversation because of the things that we're talking about, private equity.
What's it say under him on the floor that
Abu
he's performing?
Dhabi games.
Interesting.
Abu Dhabi games. It also says it on everybody's shirts and things like that as well. I don't know where the money's coming from. I don't know what entity or hedge fund they're specifically tied into business with for the Big Ten. I'm sure that there's a lot of options for that on the table. But you do have the other option, of course, of spending less money.
I don't know about that, Connor.
Of course, there's a lot of stories about the Big Ten schools and their athletic directors being, I don't know, a bit thrown off this summer by the $20 million line item that has been thrown in. Well, we have to pay the players. This is not about paying the players. They know that they have to pay the players. They need more comfort. They need more ability and flexibility to have the money to use on other things. It's frivolous type of behavior to me. Trev Alberts, I always talk about this when we talk about this type of thing in college athletics. But I thought he mentioned something that was that's proving to be very, very prescient, I would say, in college athletics. We don't have a lack of money. I'm paraphrasing. We don't have a lack of money. We have a spending problem.
Well, who said that?
Trev.
He's not here anymore.
No, it's not about here where he's at. It's not about that.
If he was so right, he would have kept his job.
Come on, man. Like, I think he can still speak for, he's the athletic director at a major institution. He knows where the money's at. He knows sort of how it gets spent. Like, maybe these athletic departments wouldn't have as significant of a money issue, quote unquote issue, if the coaches didn't make $10 million a year. I mean, there's so many expenses at the college level that are just inflated. And the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, that we are too far gone. It's too late to wipe the slate clean and start over. And so the response by conferences, as they're being influenced by their presidents and their athletic directors, is, hey, look, we need more money, and we are running out of ways to find that capital on our own dime and on our own accord. So wouldn't it be cool if we got some private capital? Wouldn't it be cool if we got some private equity that just got infused into the league? It just, wouldn't
it be cool if we didn't have to work for this money and someone just gave it to us?
Yeah.
We didn't have to be creative in any way.
Yeah, it's a lot of money too. So it's unfortunate, in my opinion, that it feels like we're headed this way instead of like, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for like a restructuring of the entire thing. Like, maybe we don't need to be paying our coaches $10 million a year. That's just one of the problems. Maybe we don't need to, have $1 million athletic directors and stuff like that. It's a hard pill to swallow. It would be a very difficult pill to swallow. But unfortunately, we're not going that way. We're going the way of like, no, we need to keep all these things. We still need to pay all these people this much money, and we still need to make this kind of money as well. That's where we're headed. So, like I said, that's where things are going. In case you guys couldn't see the writing on the wall already, Michael Bruntz is our next guest. Enjoy that. It's a very sobering part of where we're headed for college athletics.
All right, go football.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Breaking news.
Michael Bruntz.
This is the second time that breaking news has happened right when I come on the show. That's a good life lesson to be learned in all this. If you're going to give somebody over $100 million, make sure they're not weird.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7.
All right. Michael Bruntz, Husker 247, joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Bruntz, hello. How are you?
Not bad. How's it going?
Pretty good. How was Matt Rule today?
Good. He was good. Short. It was short. No more talking.
Like short for rule standards or just short?
No, like short for rule standards. He was still a few minutes past a Pelini. So Thursday Pelini usually about 3 minutes. I think Rule was about 6. So
okay.
He was fine. Fine. Didn't learned a little bit, I guess. Demetrius Bell had a little bit of an injury setback. He was back and now is not. So not a lot left to discuss though coming out of the bye week. It's let's see it time.
How is he introducing the hot wind to his team this week? I'm sure it was a topic in the 6 minutes.
No, it was the first question.
Yeah.
It was big blowers, big hot wind blowers. No, it's just part of playing in Nebraska. It'll probably have an impact on some decisions, especially if they're kicking into the south, because apparently the wind's coming out of the south. So it's they're aware of it. Matt Rule very dialed in on that. So we'll see how Michigan State handles that. This is an elite punter matchup though, so that'll be kind of fun with the wind.
Yeah,
might be a banana ball or two.
I'm actually quite fascinated. Like I imagine Rule is as well. Like he seems like the kind of guy who's like, all right, sweet, we finally got this. You know, it's this random variant that gets thrown into the game. In the past, he's talked about his affinity for cold weather and just when stuff gets thrown off and stuff like that. I get the sense that Rule enjoys this idea. They had the Rutgers game last year where they had some hot wind. So this is hot wind part 2, it feels like.
Yeah, no, and Brian Buschini threw a nice pass through that hot wind. But no, I think he's talked about the wind a lot since he's been at Nebraska, and it's not a small thing. I mean, it's Memorial Stadium. I think I know this from talking to kickers who have kicked there in the past, that it's a challenging place to kick because the wind kind of swirls a little bit when you're down there, and it's something you have to be aware of. Certainly for a team that's top 5 passing team, it's something you have to be concerned about offensively, at least when you're going against it. So it'll play in the decision making a little bit. I think there's definitely maybe an advantage to being used to playing in that. I don't know the temperature of Michigan State's wind, but I can't imagine that the woodshed gets all that windy.
No, or hot either.
No, definitely not hot. Not hot in the woodshed.
We were talking with Michigan State guy, Chris Solari, who covers Michigan State earlier, and he was sort of explaining some of what Michigan State hasn't done well so far this year, and he mentioned edge rushers. Michigan obviously did that quite well and sort of exposed Nebraska's tackles a little bit. And there was a couple other areas where it feels like this game will be like weakness on weakness for these two. And then you have this hot wind factor that's thrown in there as well, which is, I mean, there's a variety of different things that are just sort of odd about this game, I think. And I'm really, really curious to see what it all evens out to be on Saturday, given that Michigan State is such a different opponent than Michigan was for Nebraska.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know that you would say that it's necessarily like a good or a bad matchup for Nebraska. Like, it just kind of is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think, to your point, Michigan State has not been a particularly disruptive defense this season.
That's something that Nebraska's offensive line has to account for. Just, based on how they played against Michigan, is like, look, we need to bow up a little bit and give Dylan some time. I do kind of wonder, how Nebraska's going to scheme the running game a little bit based on what Dana Holgorsen said. And not you're going to see things you haven't seen, but he also had a kind of a quick aside of like, look, I got to be a little bit more creative in how I do this stuff. That you kind of got that playing into it. Both of these teams are coming off of bye weeks, off of losses. So there's I think a decent chance you're going to see something that might be new relative to what they'd shown previously. So it's kind of it's an interesting matchup. And then you throw the point spread in there, which feels like a lot of points, given everything. It is kind of an interesting matchup. And I think, going back to what we started with, I mean, you can kind of talk it to death, but at the same time, we're also kind of like, okay, what is this team going to look like coming out of the bye week? Because where that bye week falls in the season is really important, because you've got 2 Power 4 games to go off of. You're coming off of a loss where that generally is pretty instructive about what your team is and where they need to improve. So there's a lot going on there as we kind of, dip the toe a little bit here back into Big Ten play.
What do you think when you hear Dana Holgorsen and Matt Rule both talk about, things that are kind of being kept under wraps and things that'll look a little bit different coming out of the bye, as you mentioned, offensively specifically? Like, what do you anticipate that being based on what you have seen and haven't seen so far this year from the offense?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe some wrinkles, scheme wise. I don't know if that's getting different guys involved. Is it more Ja'Cory Barney with the jet sweep stuff that we haven't seen a ton of? There was more of it last year. Personnel. I'm sure they probably took a close look at basically everybody behind Emmett Johnson and what that kind of looks like. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably a combination of a bunch of things. It might even be something that, might not be really obvious as you're sitting there watching the game in terms of maybe how things are blocked or how Nebraska is choosing to call things. They just need to show efficiency in the run game, because they've been okay at times, but you just need to be able to do it with a little bit more consistency. And certainly inside the red zone is where the run game needs to just get a whole lot better, because that would go a long way to solving some of Nebraska's issues there.
A lot of focus goes to Michigan State's quarterback, Aiden Childs, especially as he's able to escape some things as they break down. Nebraska doesn't quite have that element to turn to, at least as much in terms of the athleticism Raiola compared to Childs. Knowing how that went for the first time, the first time with Nebraska with Sorsby from Cincinnati, I guess we've had a lot of time to think about it now over these last couple weeks. What are you expecting Nebraska to do to sort of keep him hemmed in on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be, rushing with discipline. In some ways, I think kind of seeing Underwood going into the bye week is probably helpful in a game like this, because it's more reps at a quarterback that can make you pay with his feet. I think this is a game where, as long as Nebraska avoids, the big bust running plays that they had against Michigan, and they're able to somewhat limit Childs, I think they'll be okay. I think that's kind of the recipe that you have to take. Michigan State's backs haven't had the big, kind of back-breaking runs on the ledger so far this year, but they're bigger backs, and I think Nebraska's at least shown they have the ability to give up some of those big runs. So that's a concern. But with Childs, I think you keep him hemmed in, you make him win with his arm, and make him be efficient. I think that's kind of how you do it. I think, percentage-wise, I think Nebraska I think their secondary can match up okay with Michigan State's skill position players. So as long as he's not able to sit back there and, keep a play alive for 6-7 seconds, right, and let things kind of break down, I think Nebraska will be okay.
All right, Bruntz, we'll let you go. Enjoy the hot wind on Saturday. It'll be a weird one, that's for sure.
Yeah, like sitting in someone's mouth. It'd be just hot breath.
Gross. All right. See you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 247. You could check out the 24/7 Hypecast, which is out now.
Any special guests?
Me.
Ooh.
Now, I was a little, things got started like a minute or two late yesterday, and I was on like a tight time crunch.
No, did you not finish the show?
No, I finished the show. The show just ended like usually, Bruntz, BC, Schaefer, me, like we're all cool, and we could go for like 40, 45 minutes or something like that, just talking about nonsense, nothing.
Mhm.
So we had to just kind of tighten it up. We tightened it up a little bit. So
Okay.
it was like a 25-minute Hypecast yesterday. Sorry if that's not enough for you all, but that's on me because I had to cut it. We had to go.
I like that you're taking ownership.
I am. It was on me.
That's
I
on me,
had
gang.
to get out of there at a certain time.
Mhm.
All right. We'll be back. As many people have mentioned, forgot to tease this actually a little bit earlier as well, but it's 12:45. It's Thursday. It's time to grunt the slate. You either love it or you hate it. And I haven't heard from many people who hate it. Josh?
Just that one person who Josh talked to. Gee, I wonder who that could be.
Probably a hater.
Generally not a hater.
We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. Grunt the Slate, grunt the Slate, grunt the Slate. I'm gonna grunt the Slate, grunt the Slate. Gonna grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate, grunt the Slate, grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate. All right, so I saw Tim Allen. Tim Allen was on the news recently. Not the news, like he was on, like he was doing a sit down interview.
Okay.
Is he? What happened to him?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Did he go to jail?
Before he became a famous comedian, yes, he went to jail and for possessing and dealing narcotics, and he famously ratted out his entire crew to get less jail time for himself.
I actually did not know that at all. And then is there like a new? He was talking about Hanks. Is there like a new Toy Story situation that's happening?
Yes, there's a new Toy Story movie coming out.
And what's that?
Toy Story 5.
Okay.
We
talked about this before?
Yes, we have.
All right.
You were very excited about it.
I still am.
I believe the quote he gave this week was that this movie is about Jesse, and
that was what I saw. He was like, there was 100 Buzz Lightyears or something like that.
Buzz and Woody have to reunite somehow in this movie.
I'm sure.
Boy, it sure seems like Tom Hanks just wants to voice these movies in a room by himself, or have his brother do it.
But Tim Allen said, like he loves Hanks.
Yeah,
he's pro Hanks.
They're great. They're great friends.
But you're saying that Hanks doesn't like Tim Allen or anyone?
Seems like Woody keeps going on these solo adventures within Toy Story movies.
Gotcha. I don't know.
Almost like he's hard to get and everyone else is very willing to show up.
Well, I mean, it's Tom Hanks. It's Tom Hanks.
Got to make another movie for Apple that no one's ever seen.
He's got to just live his life however he wants to because he's Tom Hanks.
That's true. I don't want to get it twisted. I love Tom Hanks.
To the slate we go. It's time to grunt the slate. Josh, famously, does not know the things that I'm about to say.
I don't know the slate.
Not much, anyway. I bet you know about...
I know tonight.
You know tonight, and I bet you know about
there's
two other games
there's
that are
a
happening.
London game. I know that.
Okay. I didn't. That wouldn't have been one of them.
The Bills are wearing the icy whites on Sunday Night Football. Okay, I know who they're playing now. I remember.
Okay. All right. So you know a couple of these. We begin tonight when it's the 49ers and the Rams. Yeah, this is good. I'm with you.
Yeah.
This is fun. A lot on the line.
Gosh, I hope this isn't the game of the week.
It might be. Triple grunt. I mean, you just hit it pretty hard there, right? At the start.
Yeah, I like this game.
Sunday morning to get you started. You might be there at the start. You might realize that it's happening at about 9:00.
There you go.
Vikings and Browns. The Vikings have stayed overseas, by the way.
Oh, good.
But it's a solo window, Josh.
And
it'll be Dylan Gabriel's first start.
Will Shador
not
be mocking
Shador
him on the sidelines?
Not Shador. Shador will be there, but he will not be playing unless something happens to Dylan Gabriel. And the Vikings will not do much of consequence, probably. But they will have Carson Wentz.
Ginger.
Raiders and Colts starts our noon slate on Sunday. Why? Because you might see an upset?
People keep talking about the Colts.
People keep talking about the Colts. I'm thinking about the Raiders in this game.
You like a little upset? You like a little...
One of our games in our 4-quarter pick'em, and it looked like I was the only one to choose the Raiders, at least at the time when I submitted my picks. Giants Saints.
Ooh.
Cowboys Jets. Broncos Eagles.
Ooh.
Really?
Everybody keeps talking, oh, Bo Nix, Bo Nix.
Well,
Bo Nix.
I want you to grunt what you want. Don't grunt based on what other people are grunting.
I want.
I want you to grunt with your heart,
not your head.
Yeah,
grunt with your heart.
I don't want you to
Okay.
grunt. You're like Matt Rule. You're like grunting based on like narratives, what other people are thinking. Are you interested in watching this game? Broncos Eagles. I think so too. I think this is a garbage game that I don't want to watch. It's not a garbage game. I shouldn't say that, but I don't want to watch it.
Two boring ass teams
Exactly.
playing boring ass football.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Grunt with your heart, Josh. Dolphins, Panthers. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's a toilet bowl.
Texans, Ravens.
Let me see. Do I got something here? No, because I don't know if the game's gonna be good. Ooh.
Yeah, I think there's some intrigue here because somebody
has to lose that game and falls deeper into that
pit of despair.
That poop tunnel that Andy
tunnel.
Dufresne had to climb his way out of in Shawshank.
That's true. Yeah, I get that reference, Josh.
Thank
I
you.
know movies.
Mhm.
3 o'clock, Titans, Cardinals.
Blah.
Really, really bad. Kyler Murray.
He's on ass watch.
Really has just settled into this. You are not good, are you?
Probably
thing.
should have played baseball.
Bucks, Seahawks.
Okay. I know I got something for this. We're not gonna go Home Alone mega grunt, but we'll go. We'll give it this.
Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? 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 I have exercised the demon.
This is exactly the grunt I had in mind when I saw this game.
Oh,
And like
good.
that, I think that is the perfect grunt for that. It's very good. It's kind of sneaky good. And I really like both of these teams, and neither of them are a secret anymore. You know,
Wish Tampa was a little healthier, but
I always wish Tampa was a little healthier.
yeah, I
they're
guess-
never that healthy.
okay, that's true too.
Lions, Bengals. Could you do that again, please? Like in a good way or in a bad way? Or
In a good way, because
was it like an upbeat or was it a downbeat? Like
it was upbeat.
Okay.
Because I like watching the Lions.
Yeah, this is
when
icky.
when they really get cooking and they're just moving that football.
Yeah, but they're just gonna. I mean, they could do whatever they want. They could do whatever
They're
they
gonna
want.
get to 24 and stop.
That doesn't seem like Dan Campbell, but like you know what I mean. Like they could get their yards however they'd like to in this game, so they'll probably just run it a whole bunch and call it good. Commanders, Chargers.
Ooh.
All right, that's weird. Sunday Night Football, Patriots and Bills. And thank the Lord for just one Monday Night Football
Yeah,
game this
we
week.
got to stop doing these
Because we do this thing where they give us two, but they're both bad.
They're
and
both bad
They
and
act like that's going to make up for, like, you know, whatever, the total viewership number or something, whatever it might be. Of course, people are going to watch it. It's the NFL. I'll watch both games, even if they're both horrible. But I'd rather take one halfway decent game. I believe we have that. I don't want to influence a grunt here, but it's Chiefs and Jags. How much do you believe in the Chiefs being back? Like, not back, but like, you know, on the mend here based off of what they did to the Ravens last week? Or how much do you believe that that's more of a Ravens problem?
I think both things are true. The Chiefs will find their way back, and it really helped that they got to play the Ravens.
I think that the Jaguars are going to win this game, for the record.
So do many in our station's 4-quarter pickup.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
When I was the third one to put my picks in, and the
It
other
was all Jags?
the other two people picked the Jaguars, as if we haven't seen this movie a million times.
Oh, this might not be your Papa's Jags.
72 hours after a Taylor Swift album is released, you think Travis is going to let his fiance down? Did you hear that Travis is engaged?
I thought, Josh, you just fit the narrative however you want to fit the narrative, because I figured you would have said he's going to be distracted with his long locks of hair, and he'll probably just be on low sleep because he'll be out on the press tour with Taylor.
I was recording an episode of New Heights.
Yeah, exactly. But you went the other way. Classic media, fitting the narrative however you'd like to fit it.
Always zagging.
Very interesting. All right, that is the slate. It has
Not
been,
a great slate.
It has been grunted. It's okay. There's a couple good games, but it'll produce something amazing.
Right. That's what I was going to say. It's the NFL. It always delivers.
The NFL. Josh still won't have air conditioning, but
that's
he
true.
will be able to watch the NFL.
That's true.
All right, we'll be back. Mark Kingston is the Creighton baseball coach. We'll see if he can. You gave the Dolphins a pretty tough grunt there, Josh.
Yeah, they were playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
And I laughed and I laughed.
Coach Kingston would not like to hear that, although he's, he knows what his boys are getting into.
Okay, good.
But also, how's Creighton baseball doing? How they're looking this fall? And then what the Fly Together project will end up doing and meeting for a program like Creighton baseball. And I will ask, I'm not sure if we're going to get an answer, but I will ask, give me a schedule nugget. All right.
Can we break a little news?
I would love to. Would love to try.
Okay.
We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Nearing the end of fall baseball around here. That would include the Creighton Blue Jays, who they'll have a little scrimmage against Omaha, I believe, coming up on Saturday. Mark Kingston, the head coach of the Blue Jays, joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Coach, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Well, I wanted to Now, have you publicly told everybody around here that you're a Miami Dolphins fan?
Well, I think I announced it on your show a couple months
Okay,
ago.
good.
So based on the ratings of your show, I guess that would determine what percentage of Omaha knows that fact.
All right, so nobody knows and nobody still knows, but we could still talk about it. How do you feel like it's gone so far for your boys?
Are we still referring to the Dolphins?
Yes.
Yes, I would say it's been a little bit of a struggle. We've had some heartbreaking injuries, most notably Hill on Monday night, so that wasn't good for the cause. But you know what? It's a long season. There's 17 games. They've only played 4, so there's a lot of track left to navigate.
All right, let's get to your actual boys, which would be the Creighton baseball team going on. Now your second fall here, but first, full fall with the full reins here. How's it been so far? And there's a lot of things that are different. The offices are in a different place and all that stuff. Like, how's it looked and felt so far this fall?
I've enjoyed it very much. As your listeners probably know, there's a huge reconstruction on campus of everything that's going on, and a big part of that project was taking away the Kitty Gone complex, which is where our baseball offices were in the old baseball field. That has completely disappeared to build green space on campus. So we are now full-time operations over at Charles Schwab. Our offices are there. We're using both locker rooms full-time. All of our practices and workouts are over there. So it's been pretty cool. Obviously, Charles Schwab, in my opinion, is the best baseball facility in the country. So now having that as our home base 24/7 has been really cool. I think the players have enjoyed it. The coaches have really enjoyed it. So I think we're making the most of it.
What's the kind of like reception? I mean, you're able to get recruits in there, like you said, and show them, whether it be, over the summer when, the College World Series is there, or now during fall practice. Like what's the reception been like, not only to, having that facility and then the future plans for what things are going to look like around campus coming soon, but also, the program and the feel of it right now with you guys really fully taking control now?
Well, the reception has been outstanding. You may have seen that our transfer portal class was ranked the number 1 class outside of the Power 4 leagues. So basically, of all the classes that were not ACC, SEC, etc., we were ranked as the number 1 portal class of newcomers coming in this fall. So obviously, I think that's a big reflection on the facilities in the town and the education, etc. But also, right now, we are currently recruiting the 27 class. The top programs around the country are now recruiting the 2027 high school class. And we already have 4 kids on board, and I think we're getting close on some more. So it's been great. Again, when you get to show them around Omaha, when you get to show them Charles Schwab, when you walk them on campus, when you show the renderings of what is coming in the near future, it's a great package. It's a great package to sell. And so because of that, we're going after what we think are very high-end players to make Creighton baseball the best that it can be.
That portal hall here, I mean, there's some holes that obviously, were filled by some terrific ball players over the last couple of years, have been here for a long time. You went out and found some established players. I mean, and like you said, ranked very, very highly as far as the guys that you got. Tell us a little bit about those guys, who's going to be stepping in a couple of those positions, and who you've liked so far this fall out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, well, as you know, we lost some outstanding players. We lost Dom Cancellari, who was the pitcher of the year in the Big East, as our Friday guy. We lost our closer in Langrel, who is now with the San Francisco Giants. We lost Nolan Sailors to the Kansas City Royals. For my money, was the best player in the Big East last year. And so you look at the McLeans and the Shermans and the Hesses. We lost some guys off of the Big East Championship Club. So because those guys were all older, established guys, we wanted to try to replace them as much as we could with some older, established guys. So we've got some really talented young freshmen, but by going to the portal in a few places, that will allow us to bring them along at a good pace and not ask them to do more than they're capable of at such an early age. So we went to third base and got Rocco Gump, which was probably the best name in college baseball.
Has to be. I don't know how it's not. Yeah.
It has to be, right? And I can imagine how much you're going to enjoy saying that every game.
A lot.
Another hit, another RBI for Rocco Gump. So he most likely will be our third baseman. He's a 300 hitter, stole 19 bases last year, drove in over 50. Just a good, mature veteran presence to replace a Sherman. At first base, we got Chris Ballerjan from Holy Cross. All he did last year was hit 375 with a well over 400 on base percentage, drove in a bunch of runs, and again, is a mature presence. Left field, you have potentially Lou Rice or Isaac Walksman, two guys that are well-established players. We were pretty intentional with trying to get guys that give really good professional at-bats, did not have high strikeout numbers, had high on-base percentages, because we want to have the kind of lineup that just 1 through 9, it just feels like a bore and a chore to get through, because we're just going to make really good swing decisions. We're going to have high on-base percentages. And the more you do that, the more you have a chance to really score a lot of runs in Charles Schwab. As you guys know, you can't rely on the home run. The home run's a bonus when you're playing in Charles Schwab. So we want to just have a lot of guys that are really tough to pitch to, take disciplined at bats, have high on-base percentages, because I think that can be a really good recipe for scoring runs. And then when you do get home runs, it's just the icing on the cake. But we were very intentional on getting those kinds of players to fill out our lineup to replace the very good players that we lost.
Well, yeah, I think when we talked several months ago, there was that conversation about the park and sort of the lineup that you have to build. You said something along the lines of, like, if there's a sliding scale of power and athleticism, we're probably going to go a little bit more toward the athleticism with the ballpark that you guys play in. It looks like that you've been able to create that in a short period of time. And I would imagine, that's one of the things that you guys are coveting on the recruiting trail as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we had that last year. I think we obviously Nolan Saylor is a very athletic player.
Right.
And, I think it's not like that's some new revelation that we're trying to do. I think that's kind of how the program has been built over the years. But we also have to keep in mind that if we play 25 home games, that means in the regular season, we're going to play 31 road games. So while we were not considered a big-time power team last year, when you put us in the regional at Arkansas, we started hitting a lot of homers. So I think you can't totally go away from the power game, but I think you want a lot of good, hard line drive hitters that drive the ball. Because when you do go on the road, a lot of those balls that you hit, a lot of those doubles in Charles Schwab will turn into home runs when you go to Xavier and Seton Hall and Miami and Tulane and LSU. So there's a balance there, but I think in our ballpark, athleticism definitely plays on the offensive and the defensive side.
A couple of weeks ago, Coach, Creighton fully announced the Fly Together project and most of the things that entails. We know that the practice park is going up on that side of campus outside of Cumming Street. The softball stadium is already up. There's going to be a building in between. I mean, and you've already talked about, the campus and how it changes and how, the kiddies no longer there either. Like, how transformational is this time and what does the Fly Together project and all that entails going to mean to Creighton baseball in particular?
Well, you use the right word, transformational. That's exactly what it is. And I think people that, are alumni, when they come back here now, but also into the future, I think their jaws are going to drop with how different the place is and how much they've invested in Creighton and downtown Omaha. It's incredible. And I feel very fortunate and blessed that I got here at what probably is just the right time, both athletically, but also on campus, because it's going to be a premier place to go to college. It always has been, but I just think everything is going to really be elevated. I think the caliber of student that is going to want to come to Creighton will continue to increase. Right now, as I understand it, the average ACT that comes to Creighton is a 27, which is very high. And I think the demand for students will only get greater, and it'll continue to get harder to get into Creighton because it's going to be such an attractive place to go to school and to have a very, very high quality of life, because all this new investment in this campus and in the athletic programs are just going to continue to raise the quality of life for all of the students.
Yeah. So when you get here, you're in the Kitty, and now you're moved down to Charles Schwab, and then eventually in the new place. I mean, that is quite the, however long it might take, first 2, 3, whatever it might be, years on campus. And like you said, transformational. Just, I mean, I'm sure even when you got here, you couldn't have imagined that things were going to look the way that they're going to end up looking now.
No, and a little bit of it was teased when I came in here on my interview and my visit last summer. Some of that was teased to us, and they kind of said, "Hey, there's some really cool plans in place that we'll be announcing in the future." So some of it I had to take as a leap of faith, but some of it I saw a little bit of it, and it was very exciting to see, because again, you want to have great hope for the future, that things are always improving and getting better. And there's no doubt that buzz and that vibe around campus is that it's a very exciting time. You have so many sports on campus currently doing extremely well. And I just think the future is very bright. And that Fly Together program, there's so many people they're such a big part of it. Our donors, our alumni, the athletic department, the school, the town, there's so many people that are operating together to make this a premier destination for coaches, for players, for students, for all.
What has stood out to you sort of about your group this fall? I mean, we kind of went through a couple of the guys in the additions, but like in the practices so far, and you guys are kind of drawing closer to the end now, and starting to head into some closer to winter stuff eventually. Like, what has sort of been the main thing for you guys this fall as you put it together?
Well, I've been pleased with what the team looks like so far. Now we have some guys that are missing the fall due to injuries. Teddy Dieters has had a knee issue, so he's missed the fall. But before he had to stop playing, he was having a great fall at the beginning. Eli Nissen, who will be back this year after Tommy John surgery, is not pitching, but his rehab is going very, very well. So we're very hopeful that he'll have a huge impact on our pitching staff. But I see a team that I think offensively can be every bit as good as last year's team, if not a little bit better. Probably we'll have more consistent depth in our lineup 1 through 9, but we also have depth behind those guys that when they play, I think will do really well. So I think it'll be a similar type offense. I think we have a chance to maybe steal some more bases. I think we'll give a ton of mature at-bats like we talked about earlier. From a pitching standpoint, I think we've got a lot of arm strength. I counted the other day, I think we have 13 guys that have been over 93 so far this fall. Now, velocity is not the end-all, be-all for pitchers, but starting with that type of raw material for a pitcher and then adding in Billy Mole and what he does for the improvement of pitchers, I think is a great combination. So I think we're positioned to be pretty darn good again this year. That's our hope. And our goal going into the season will be to be every bit as good as we were last year, if not better. That's always the goal. And the schedule will provide a lot of challenges early on. Our schedule will be a little bit like the volleyball team this year, where we may incur some losses early on, but they'll pay off from an RPI standpoint. They'll pay off getting us ready for the Big East. But that being said, we're going to go into every game against whether it's LSU or Miami or Tulane, thinking we're going to win that day too. So I think the vibe is really, really good right now.
All right. Well, I was just going to ask you that might suffice as I was just going to ask you for a schedule nugget. Give people something to say. All right, we got this big series coming up this year.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we're going to continue to play Nebraska 3 times. We're going to play UNO 3 times as we have. We're also going to the University of Miami for a weekend series, which will be very exciting for our guys. We're going to Tulane for a weekend series over spring break. And on Tuesday of that week, before we play Tulane in a weekend series in New Orleans, we will be playing the defending national champion LSU Tigers. So that's a little glimpse. We obviously have more exciting games outside of those, but those are kind of the highlights that our guys are really, really excited for. I think our fans, our parents, our anybody that supports us is pretty excited about us taking on those opponents.
Also, by the way, before we let you go, that's awesome. Cannot wait for. I mean, it'll be here before you know it. I did listen to that Elton John song that you sent me. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So we've now bonded over the fact that we both like Elton John, which is good.
How about it? Well, make sure you share with your audience, because as old as I am and as old as that song is, I had never heard it. So I discovered it by accident. Somehow the algorithm on my phone sent it to me. And so I listened to it, and I can't get enough of it. I listen to it very often. So make sure you share it with your audience. And I will say the live version and also the Metallica version are incredible.
Rocks. Okay, Coach. Great to talk to you. Appreciate it as always. If you see Glenn, tell him happy birthday from me. We could recreate the Spider-Man meme thing whenever we go down the line. But thanks for doing this as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Mark Kingston, the head coach of the Creighton Baseball Blue Jays. So there you go. Those were the scheduling.
We got our nuggets.
Those were the scheduling hints, that they're not really hints anymore. There they are. Gonna play LSU on a Tuesday.
Honk.
Now, when Omaha, the Mavs played them for 2 last year, right?
I believe, yeah.
They went down there for a
split.
Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah, they split.
Right. Then they won the national championship.
LSU, not Omaha.
Omaha did not win the national championship, but it's kind of like they did because you remember they almost like no hit them. Remember?
Yeah. No, not really. I just remember.
Wasn't that like the Tuesday game? They like almost no hit them or something like that before.
I believe.
Yeah, I think that was right. I remember sitting in here watching that game. But yeah, little series in Miami, a little series, and then a couple tournaments that they're in as well. Game of Tulane. So some fun scheduling stuff on the horizon for Creighton baseball as well. Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. Now, I think that's a popular Elton John song, but like I didn't know it, and apparently he didn't know it. So we were sitting there watching the scrimmage one day, and he was like, "Have you heard this song?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I have." So it's not I don't think it's a terribly deep cut. Like I'm not trying to tell people that he knows music or anything, but it's a great song. And then there's Metallica Redux, and it's great. So, it's
Metallica
one of those,
covered in Elton John.
Yeah, it's one of those ballads. It's like a 7 or 8 minute long, type of deal. It's great. Rocking out. If you like your 3 different songs in one of those, like Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Those type of you might be into this.
Omaha and LSU played a weekend series.
Oh.
In which LSU won 2 of 3. Omaha won 5-4.
5-4, but wasn't it like a no-hitter into the 7th?
One of those games was, yes.
Okay. I assume it was the Mavs win, probably.
I would think so.
Doug in Idaho writes in.
Hi, Doug.
It'd be nice if Husker basketball would play non-conference competition like Blue Jay baseball. Everybody's got their different deals, man. I'm not saying one way is right or the other. I'm saying that it is exciting when your team plays high caliber competition. Something to get excited about. And it's a good way to to test yourself, especially early in the season. All right.
7 innings of no-hit ball.
Thank you, Josh. I was right.
All 4 LSU runs came in the bottom of the 9th.
I was right. I remember that. We'll be back. Still a couple things left to cover here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
An excellent point made by Sith Destroyer on YouTube.
Hi, Sith Destroyer.
Are the Creighton fans in the chat still upset that the two best teams in the state last season both received postseason hardware and the Blue Jays did not? Now, I assume he's talking about basketball.
Hoops on October 2nd.
It's a great discussion, Josh, because think about it. Nebraska, Diamond Head Classic,
Yes.
Crown,
Yes.
a bunch of money in NIL. Nice. The Mavs, Summer League regular season, Summer League postseason. They get to go to the NCAA tournament. Awesome. Creighton, 2 seed in the Big East tournament,
What's the
runner
point?
up in the Big East final,
What's the point?
NCAA tournament. Oh, wait. Somebody's telling me that they won a game in the NCAA tournament. Now, I don't think they get a trophy for that, but at least they get to say that they did that, which some other schools can't.
And
So it's really, it's a balancing act. It's a
zero parody songs written about Creighton.
Kenneth Wright said,
Hi, Kenneth.
Creighton won the award of not having to live in Lincoln for the 100th straight season. So there's that.
There's that. Nebraska missed the Big Ten tournament.
A banger indeed. Speaking of the NCAA basketball tournament, here's great news for people who were just on the outside looking in.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you had to go to one of those secondary tournaments.
No. You want to make the big one?
Yeah.
You're going to have a chance. Well, an agreement isn't yet finalized, and the NCAA executives remain in negotiations with TV partners. Officials are now narrowing the scope of an expanded field and the structure of that field. We're looking at 76 teams in the NCAA tournament, starting not this upcoming season, but next. This is almost certainly happening, by the way.
Well, that's what we said about the last expansion rumors.
With a little bit more detail, 8 games are expected to be this is from On3. 8 games are expected to be added to the current first 4, played over Tuesday and Wednesday, the first week of the event. It will not be referred to as the first 12.
It won't?
Yeah, thank God.
They went out and said that.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
One highly placed executive directly involved in the formation of the expanded bracket said, it will not be called the first 12. We'll call it the opening round. The new opening round features 24 teams playing in 12 games over the 2 days, so 6 games each day, at 2 different sites. One of them is Dayton, and then another unknown, but as this article puts it, likely more basketball-centric Western location.
The hell does that mean?
Those involved in negotiations caution that plenty of this could change through the course of continuing talks with TV partners, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and CBS. For now, this is the plan. I would like to pick at that, Josh.
Which one?
What you just asked.
Basketball-centric Western
location.
City? Okay.
Yes. What do you think that means?
There's like 4 that come to mind.
Really? Okay. Give it to me.
Phoenix, Denver, LA, Seattle.
Why is that basketball-centric? They have basketball teams?
They have basketball
well,
teams.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They like basket. They would really like one.
Yes. Well, would you say that Omaha is a basketball-centric, Western-based location? We have mentioned this before. All right, we have mentioned this before. Would you like it if Omaha became second Dayton?
I think I would, but I don't think I'd go. If that makes sense. Like I want it here, but
I'm not trying to be too like on my high horse here. But doesn't it kind of feel below? Doesn't it kind of feel below us?
Yeah.
The other city is Dayton.
Yeah.
Dayton. We're better than Dayton.
We're Omaha.
We're Omaha. We've had Elite Eight games. One Elite Eight game.
Population of Dayton is 136,000.
Yeah, do Lincoln. Oh, I'm sorry. Do Lincoln. It'd be a great time for Lincoln to get involved.
I mean,
I feel like Omaha is better than this. My guess would be
Vegas.
that Omaha. That's interesting. Probably, actually.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that Omaha, they like to submit bids for whatever they could get. If they feel like they could get this and still host regular round NCAA tournament games.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Does it exclude you from later rounds?
I don't know the answer to that question. If it does, it's not worth it.
Correct.
If it does preclude you from hosting other games in the NCAA tournament, I would not want that at all. And I hope that Omaha could get back in the mix to host regional round, but we'll see if and when that happens.
Just geographically, doesn't it need to be further west for time zones and tip times and things like that?
Maybe.
I guess.
You probably think there's probably a travel component to it as well.
A hub.
Yeah.
I guess Dayton's not a hub.
Not really. No, it's Dayton. But it's close to a variety of other Midwestern / East Coast cities, so you could be okay. What do we think? It's not called the first 12. It's called the opening round, Josh.
Put your bid in, go through the rigmarole. One of those, well, I guess I have to apply for this job, but I don't really want this job. I'd like a better job.
I don't know if they should apply, because if they applied, I mean, it's a nice cushy spot to land, because the NCAA knows exactly what they're going to get when they go to Omaha. They've already been camped out here for years. Host the College World Series every year. We have had many NCAA tournament games here. If they're involved, I would imagine that it would be attractive for that reason. You have the hotel space, you have everything you need, all the boxes have been checked, and it's already been, the people who are in charge of running the event are top notch, and it's gone off without a hitch every single time.
True. I don't know if the citizens of Omaha are like, I got to leave work early today because I'm going to Richmond Vanderbilt later tonight. I gotta get there.
Don't doubt them, Josh. Would the citizens of Lincoln do it?
Northwestern's playing George Washington. We got to get our ass downtown.
Would the citizens of Wichita?
Wichita would love that.
Would they like to go to Duquesne?
I've spent a lot of time in Wichita this year. Let me tell you, they'll take whatever you give them.
Okay. Blackhead says Wichita will love it. No, I don't want Omaha hosting that garbage. I do. I feel like I'm being a little bit snooty, but
that is something you need to ask, and I'm sure they will. Like, hey, if we do this,
do we get to keep the other games?
Yeah.
Or we still get in the mix for the other games? Because I assume they're looking for a permanent home. A forever home, as they call it for those dogs.
You love dogs.
Yeah.
You love giving forever homes.
Forever home. I assume they're looking for a forever home.
Yeah.
That's until they, of course, expand the tournament to 198 teams.
Being in the rotation once every 4 years is better than hosting half of the first 12 every year.
I agree. I don't know that I don't know that everyone would agree with that. Because I think there is advantages to saying we do that. Like it's kind of like the College World Series. It's like a mini College World Series. We do this every year. We put on a great show for all you guys, and it's every year, and it's Omaha. I'm sure Dayton really enjoys that part of it.
Oh, I'll bet they love telling people.
Yeah, this is where the NCAA tournament begins.
First 4.
Dayton. Right?
Can't crown a national championship before we get started.
So there is something to the consistency of it, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick my nose up. I'm gonna say
not for my city.
I don't think so. How about try 60 miles down the road?
Have you been to Wichita? I hear it's lovely in March.
Who's the guy that Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago?
Yes. Another movie.
That's basically who you are right now,
That's
Josh. Right. I'm Abe Froman. All right. We're back with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch after this on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. You can make picks and win money right now in the state of Nebraska. Take a look. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, the app, it's right here. It's available for you in the state. So take a look at tonight, San Francisco and Los Angeles. How about Kyron Williams, 69.5 rush yards, higher or lower. Puka Nakua, 95.5 receiving yards, higher or lower. Just a couple of the options for you. You can put those things together as well to multiply your payout. So download the app today. Sign up with promo code HAPPER1620 and score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first 5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 19 or over, present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
He gives you the latest sports news, analysis, and commentary in a clean, concise, and disease-free way.
See there?
What a relief. Thank God.
Wonderful. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Week 6 of the high school football season is here, and Friday Night Football is bringing you Papillion La Vista against Class A's top team, Millard South. Join me, John Schreiner, and Matt McMaster for pregame at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Friday Night Football is here on 1620 The Zone.
All right, tomorrow we talk Nebraska and Michigan State.
The beginning of the end for the Husker football program. They'll never win another game again. Did you watch them against Michigan? They'll give up 1,000 yards on the ground.
It'll be good to have the game happen because then we won't have to talk about the Michigan game anymore, which famously Nebraska did not win. So, yes, I am excited to have a different game, although we will have to deal with hot wind.
Going to be a factor from what you're telling me today.
Don't forget, listen to Big Red Overreaction after the game with myself and young Matt.
BROR.
We will be there. And also on Saturday, 1620, the pregame comes at you live. They'll be protected a little bit from the hot wind under the viaduct They're at the Blur tailgate party, John and Michael. John, I've already seen John out there. He's wearing his Rams baseball jersey with his Cubs hat. Very confusing day for John. Yes. The Blur tailgate, they'll start at 12:30 Saturday afternoon, counting down to Nebraska, Michigan State on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. Brought to you by Chandler Conway, PCLLO, and Sidoro Law Group. To the polls from today, Josh.
Couple good ones.
Okay. Let's see. Should Matt McMaster and Nate Rohr be better friends? Sounds like it.
I think they should.
73% say yes.
Wow. No comment from either Matt or Nate at this
Not
point,
not
which is
a
odd.
peep. What's going on there? Is this a beef? Is this a potential incoming beef?
They either need to be better friends or start a beef. I would take either.
Yeah, go one way or the other.
Yeah.
If anyone can sustain 7 straight hours of hatred, is it John Bishop?
Absolutely.
81% say yes.
They've heard the shows.
And that's it. Those are our polls.
We were so busy.
Many guests. Many guests. We'd like to thank them all, of course. But Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We are watching
Baseball. I can now turn it from this Abu Dhabi thing.
Yeah, the Knicks beat the Sixers. Imagine that the Sixers stopped trying halfway through the game.
Did any of the Omahans do anything?
Not a clue.
Great.
The two best words in sports, Connor.
Game 3.
And we got 3 of them today. # blessed. Winner take all wild card games to advance to the divisional series. Tigers guards coming up here at the top of the hour on ABC. Padres Cubs at 4:00 on ESPN, followed by Red Sox Yankees. NFL on Prime tonight. Niners Rams at 7:00. Coverage begins right here on 1620 The Zone.
Right there
at 6:30 with Kevin Kugler.
Oh, Kevin.
Remember him?
Yes, I do.
We got one college game on the slate tonight, 8:00 on CBS Sports Network. 0-4 Sam Houston takes on 2-2 New Mexico State.
All right.
And finally,
that's great.
Creighton volleyball ranks 16th in the country and the world, as a matter of fact. They are at Marquette tonight, 6:00 on FS1.
Yeah. Watch out.
Watch out for them Jays now.
Watch out. By the way, Baymon writes in.
Hi, Baymon.
What are the best 2 words now in sports, Josh? Game
3.
Yes. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
John, we appreciate that. I'm excited for the game tonight. Do you have a pick?
Which game? There are many
not
games.
the Sam Houston game.
Okay. Creighton volleyball wins.
No, not that one either.
Rams win.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the one I was looking for. The NFL is king, Josh.
Rams, Sox,
all right,
Cubs.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you to do. I was going to ask you to create a money line parlay for
me. Hello.
The Josh money line parlay. You probably, now that you're thinking about it, you might give this a shot. I wouldn't encourage people to do 4-leg money line parlays.
I mean, I got to get to Iowa very quickly, but yeah, Guards, Cubs, Red Sox, Rams.
Guards, Cubs, Red Sox, Rams. Okay, and then what if I just did the inverse? And then we both split probably. So Tigers, Padres, Yankees, and Frisco Niners.
Okay.
Would anybody be happy with that?
I feel like we're both going to go 2-2.
Right. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Thanks once again to all of our guests today. Like I said, you can find that all on 1620thezone.com or your podcast feeds, or rewind the video on YouTube. Crossover coming up next.